All right, welcome aboard for State of the Atmosphere. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere. It's good to see you tonight. And of course, I've got some of my friends along for the journey. First in tonight was Das Wolfen. How you doing tonight, John? It's
Doing
good to
good.
see you.
Yeah, running
Yeah,
behind, but I was here.
that's great, man. It's no problem. He's talking about Pop Culture Minefield. They do a show on Wednesdays. It's called Dangerous Military Nerds. I was on there for the first hour. I try and make it for the first hour of that. I got to get ready for this, but
Yeah,
I try and show up and support Gary on that one. And it was a lot of fun. Of course, we didn't talk about anything military or I mean, it was just guy humor the whole first hour, but it was a lot of fun. And speaking of guy humor, the king of it, Jed, is in the house. What's going
yeah.
on,
What's
man?
up, dude?
Not much, man. How
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
All right, good
Oh, and
deal.
then the people that thought something was gonna happen on Secret Invasion this week, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, well, we're not going to discuss it here live, okay?
Yeah.
We're not going to
Mm.
do that. We don't want to spoil it for anybody. But, and of course, pulling up the rear here is Matt, Small Time Republic. He's in. I got to tell you guys, the first guy in was Christian Delorme. And Christian, if you're watching, I'm sorry you couldn't get in here. I hope you figure out what's going on. But
Yeah.
we kept seeing his icon,
Oh, would
and
it bounce in and out?
it just no, it didn't bounce in and out. It just said is not connected. It had that little triangle hash
Oh, yeah,
thing.
that's a problem on their end sometimes of
Yeah, I
streaming
know
things.
that, and I texted him. I told him, I said, "Did you?" Because he was streaming with that '70s rock fan, wasn't he, when he
Yeah.
started that stream?
Yeah. Well,
So
we'll
you know,
see.
but
What
but he uses Melon, so he
Yeah,
might have had to
70s
change
does
some
something
settings.
different
Yeah,
because whenever I go over to 70s,
yeah,
Joe, I have problems, and I don't have problems on StreamYard. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So
A lot of people have said that about Melon. Go ahead, Matt.
if it
Melon
involves
is
Christian and 70s rock fan, there's just two words: blame Canada.
yeah.
Blame Canada, no doubt.
By the
Sing
way,
it to the rooftops.
underneath my name, I do have one small spoiler. Episode 3 is no different from episode 1 and 2 in the regard
Yeah,
that everything is Nick Fury's fault.
yeah, it
Okay,
is. It basically
everything.
is,
Yeah,
and his wife too.
Well, hey man,
And
I haven't watched it yet. I have seen the
Mm,
first two. That look, and what you told me just a minute ago, Jed, that you let slip by accident, it totally makes the conversation at the table make sense to me now. So,
yeah, it does,
um,
doesn't it?
but yeah, it's that show right there. It's I don't know. They're gonna have to turn it around rather quickly,
Oh,
rather quickly.
it's they got three episodes left.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
It's
let's
gonna
not talk about Secret Invasion.
it's
The
yeah,
gonna
king of the
devolve
and
spoilers
into a
is in the chat. He says
huge
he hasn't
shit
seen two or
show.
three, so
It's
shoot
and
gonna
up.
it's gonna evolve into a huge shit show.
and
Yeah.
Matt
Sure.
wasn't here last. He's
Yeah.
batting cleanup.
Yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
He's batting
there we go.
cleanup. That's good. That's good. Of course, we got E. Clay Thomas in the house. What's up, man? It's good to see you. And Wolverine Schnicht is watching over on my man Jed's channel. So
Yeah.
good to see
So,
you
because
guys.
I always put your stuff in there.
Yeah,
Always make
absolutely,
sure
man.
we get
Simulcast it. Let
more
everybody see
people.
it. We did something right last week. I've got almost 600 views on last
Yeah,
week's show.
I'm
So
so like I was like bringing people for me, and then you had it on at the same
there you
time, so
go.
we're doing good on
Yeah.
that.
Yes, we are.
Mm,
Let's see. E. Clay Thomas says, I don't think I'm going to watch that show. It sounds terrible, and
yeah.
it probably is. I've being the pop culture guy I am, I try and watch the stuff that I can stomach. Uh, and that one I'm watching. I just haven't seen the third episode of it yet. But the one this weekend that's part of our top story, no, I did not go pay money to see that piece of crap, and I have no intentions of doing it. And I'll tell you why. The first story tonight, by the way, guys, we're going to talk about not just Indiana Jones, or excuse me, Indiana Jane and the douche of uh, destruction. We're not going to just talk about that. We're going to talk about everything coming out of Hollywood, not making anything at the theaters, and why that's happening. We're going to discuss that first off
There
tonight.
is an exception.
But I can show you right now why I didn't go see that movie. Okay, and it's this. The first thing I saw in the trailer was an old man in a chair in his underwear. I know exactly where that's going, and I don't even need to say this is not an Indiana Jones movie. I mean, John, you're the one that's seen it. What did you think?
The first 20 minutes, it's an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
When he's fighting Nazis, we're all kosher.
Right.
As soon as they got to him in the 60s, they made him a bitter, drunk old man that can't seem to do anything right. And it takes his goddaughter, who's probably going to be the new Indiana Jones.
Let's hope not.
Going forward in other movies.
Let's hope not.
If Kathleen Kennedy has her way.
Oh yeah, she's not going until she wants to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely not a great experience.
Yeah.
There were some things that I don't want to completely poo-poo the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Although I should. There were moments that were fine, and you could see where if they just made this change or that change, it would actually be a decent movie.
Right.
But because
I felt the same way about The Flash. A few changes, and that's a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but they're letting too much of the back room get up on the screen, and it's really weird. Kristen Lorem says, I'm relegated to the chat. Fuck StreamYard. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
I had more problems over a melon.
He's saying hi.
Yeah. Sorry, Christian.
But it's good to see you, brother. I love you to death. You know that. I'll be meeting Christian later on this year. Usually me and my wife go up to see my mother in Maine in September. I may have to go early this year to take care of some business, but either way, we have decided that we're going to meet halfway between northern Maine and where he lives in Canada. We're not far from each other, apparently. So we're going to meet up somewhere and have a meal and maybe some drinks, that kind of thing. So
cool.
But
Maine just keeps going and going and going. You don't really know where Maine ever ends.
You really don't know where it ends. That's right.
No, you don't.
Actually, I know exactly where it ends. I took my wife to Route 1 last time, and if you don't know what Route 1, it's America's First Mile. They have a monument there. It's the bridge crossing over from Canada into the U.S. there in northern Maine, and Route 1 goes all the way from the northern tip of Maine all the way down to the Florida Keys, and so I do know where it ends. So I've actually seen it, Matt. It seems like it goes on forever, but not actually. Let's see. Christian says, love you more, Joe. Top that. Oh, stop it, dude. I love you 5,000. Here we go. The Love Fest. Thank you, E-Clay. We love you too, man. We love you too. No gay stuff, damn it.
And I'm going to the FNT meetup in Dallas next year, so I'll see Joe then. So
yeah. I wish I.
What is it now?
The FNT meetup next.
Oh yeah, you're going to go to the Dallas one?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Dallas one. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Orlando. It's just that's outside of driving range, but I consider Dallas in driving range.
Yeah, absolutely. You're Arkansas away, really. I drive right through Arkansas, and we're there. But look, E-Play and Christian, look, you got to take it easy, man, because
room's starting to spin real fast because of gayness.
I just noticed there's a Budweiser sign there.
No, I got a Budweiser sign for you. Hang on a second. Yeah. Never go full Bud Light. No, don't do that.
Yeah. By the way, Orlando may not happen this fall. So
really?
That's the latest I'm hearing.
Shit,
really?
I will never see anybody unless they come to Arizona for a meetup. So, because I can't get out of state right now. I have
really.
Yeah. So the only way I get to see people
Vegas isn't close enough for you.
Yep.
No, I will probably have to go with Biggles or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
because I don't have a car. So
I thought it was the ankle monitor, Jed.
No, it's not that. Yeah, that got took off a long time ago. So.
Right? We can. There's ways around that. Yeah. But yeah, man, let's get into this.
Comics and
Indiana
Culture
Jones
showed me how to take that off. So
right. Indiana Jones, look, it was doomed from the start, and I've got this article here. Let me put this up real quick. Hang on. I got to move this over to the other screen real fast and get it set. But I don't think anybody wanted this movie. I don't. But to be clear, nobody wanted Top Gun Maverick either.
Yeah.
Okay, and it blew the doors off of everybody's expectations. Word of mouth launched that movie way to a different level. This one, word of mouth, is killing it. Let me throw this up here.
But Top Gun did not have a Fleabag character.
No,
Yeah.
it did not. It did not. What it had was a smoking hot young lady in it.
Yeah.
But she's getting a little older, but she's still look. Paul Bettany's one of the luckiest guys alive after seeing that movie.
And
That's all I
the
got to
female
say.
pilot in Top Gun, she's an attractive actress.
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get rid of this stupid advertisement down here.
Joe, her designation is MILF.
Yes, yeah. I just don't like using that term, man. You know,
Cougar.
I just don't. I know what
cougar's
she
worse
is.
than
I
MILF.
just don't like using that. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, she could be a gilf for all we know. I mean, shoot, she's getting up there in age. So, but I grabbed this one and I figured we'd look at it and start a conversation here. 10 reasons Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny bombed at the box office, breaking down Disney's $295 million flop.
Yeah.
Now, I think that must be an estimate because we really don't know how much it's going to lose. But
Well, we can go on boxoffice.com. and
Well,
all
the
other
problem is we don't know how much it actually costs because they're
Right,
keeping
we
that
don't.
information secret.
yeah, they don't actually tell you. Matter of fact, we've
It's-
been finding out some things about some different shows. I don't know if you've been reading some of the articles that have been coming out lately. I mean, shows from years
Yeah.
ago that lost a lot of money and they didn't tell anybody. You know, so
The last number I heard, and I think it was either Valiant or WDW Pro, was 339 million.
okay. Well, they address it with number 10 reason right here. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny's budget gave it a huge box office challenge. It says here that it had the highest production budget of any previous Indiana Jones movie at $295 million. That's just production.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the last installment featuring Harrison Ford as the titular, I'm not going to read all that garbage,
Mhm.
but it's saying right here, similar budget to Dial of Destiny for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was 185 million or 279 million considering inflation. So it's about the same, which seems like a daunting feat for Dial of Destiny at $1.18 million is what it needs to make. But
1.18 billion.
billion, yeah, billion. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean they keep look. They're spending ungodly amounts of money on this stuff, and what I'm really going to laugh at is when a movie that's got $165 million budget in today's dollars blows this away at the box office this fall when Dune Part 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And it's a
I am
sci-fi
going to go see
movie.
that. Yeah, I am going to.
It's a it's a sci-fi movie, but they use a lot more practical effects in it. I mean, there's CGI in it, but there's a lot more practical.
Yeah, but the ships are like practical. They have the ships are real, and then they CGI in the background somewhat. Because I saw what they did with the first one. They're continuing what they did with the first movie, and I kind of praised it a bit because I was like, okay, it's not that bad. There was some bullshit in it, but it wasn't to the amount of brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
small time.
I mean, basically, they're spending like drunken sailors, and they just can't. That's not sustainable. It's just not. Let's see.
Joe, just wanted to show off. I know nothing about Dune, but
yes, sir.
Last week I bought the original novel of Frank Herbert. So
there you go.
I'm about to learn that world.
My stepson would be proud of you, Matt. Let me tell you, because that is that is probably his favorite science fiction series is the Frank Herbert Dune books, because that's just the introduction. You got Children of Dune. I can't remember how many books there are, but
God Emperor of Dune.
yeah, there's a bunch. It's a rich. I mean, you talk about world building, and a lot of people don't know this. Dune is actually one of the inspirations that Lucas used to make Star Wars.
Yep.
Yes,
I
along
mean,
with Seven Samurai and Flash Gordon.
Yeah, big time.
The Hidden Fortress.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The only thing I would call with Dune is I think it'll certainly make money, but it's not going to be like a Star Wars or a Top Gun Maverick type success. Just because it is a somewhat niche audience.
It is. It is, and it's a big story. I was so happy to see that they were doing it in parts, because the first, if you've ever seen the, is it David Lynch made that first one?
And
I like the first one. It's just they tried to cram too much into one movie.
Or when it came out, it was Alan Smithy.
Alan Smithy?
Yeah, because David Lynch didn't want his name on it, and that's the official. If a director doesn't want their name on a project, Alan Smithy is the pseudonym they put in there for somebody. Yeah,
learn something new every day, man. Learn something new every day.
I'm a little surprised that he even did that. That David Lynch even did that movie, because his personality tends to be the type that he wants to do his own thing, like not adapting something.
Yeah.
I still have Dune on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it on VHS when I first had it. Let's check in on the chat here. Christian Dorm says, "Fuck Bud Light, Old Milwaukee, and Pabst Blue Ribbon, sir."
Yeah. And you need to put Ben and Jerry's in that bullshit now too. Fuck Ben and Jerry's too.
Yeah, I
the
hear
first
you.
beer I ever tasted was Old Milwaukee. I was fishing with my grandfather when I was about 9 years old, and I snuck a sip in, and that was 9. I didn't take another sip for like another 10 years.
I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. That'll do it. Yeah. My dad, it was the champagne of beers, Miller High Life, of course. I had my first snort over a brake job. He was teaching me how to do brakes at my aunt's place when I was 8 years old. Ron Phillips says, definitely no plans to see Indiana Jones 5. And this guy, I have to tell you, look, this movie has got bad word of mouth for sure, because this guy will give anything a chance if he's a fan. So, if he's not going to see it, that's bad. Let's see. What do we got here? Ariel is here. She says, no, you guys just don't like women unless they're in the kitchen. Speaking of which, I'll get back in there and make your sandwiches and coffee.
I want
you get in there, girl.
In my coffee, and I want a little tiny bit of sugar, and I like a BLT.
You know we're not like that, Ariel. And how much they put into advertisement. Their advertising push on this was huge. So let's see. A Clay says, I understand the movie they were trying to make, but I just don't think it made a good Indiana Jones movie. Nobody wants to see an old, beat down physically Indiana Jones. He's supposed to be, look, they wanted to make an American James Bond. That's what fucking Spielberg and and Lucas were shooting for. That's what they wanted to do. It was very plain what they wanted to do. And these last two movies, man, you know what? All this has done, this flick here, has made people like Crystal Skull. It's weird. It's like Disney keeps making these movies. Well, I'm just saying that I understand that, but
I only
think about it. If somebody
movies.
put a gun to your head and made you watch this one or the Crystal Skull, which one would you watch?
Well,
okay,
I guess
now you put it that way. I watch Crystal
I would
Skull.
be watching the Crystal Skull. It's kind of like what the Disney trilogy and Star Wars did for the prequels.
Yeah,
you know,
to put the a fine point on how this movie's doing. Yesterday, 4th of July. Expect a lot of, families are off. You expect people to go to the movies, expect it to do well, right?
Yeah.
There's a little movie called The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
I keep hearing about that.
That kicked the crap out of it. It made $14 million on its opening day.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
And-
did you see me retweet that tweet last night? How much they made? And I was just like, let me see. I have it right here.
And
Okay.
Indiana
Bring it
Jones,
Pull it
Indiana
up.
Jones made 11 million. Well, 11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a
Outdone the
second.
and Sound of Freedom's an independent movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
And it's a
look at
low
this
budget.
right here.
It's Jim Caviezel. I think it has a budget in like 25.
Mhm.
So that right there. That I got that tweet from right there.
Yeah.
Sound
from
of
last
Freedom
night.
just broke Hollywood's 10 million plus in pre-sales, beating out Indiana Jones 7.2. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That is amazing. Well, I mean, I just know that Disney's spending like drunken sailors on stuff that nobody wants to see. It's ridiculous. Their number 9 reason, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, made people skeptical of more Indiana Jones. Now, that one I can buy. When you have a bad experience in the last movie and you go to make another one, it's just going to kind of snowball on you. People were kind of put off by that last one. You know what I mean? Let's see. Ariel says, John, I don't remember if it was yesterday or an earlier show that we talked about how people don't really get theaters too much anymore because they're being expensive. Yeah. We're going to get into all of that. I mean, I personally think, and you guys may think I'm nuts, and we'll continue with this article here in a little bit, but I think one of the major problems they have is, of course, this COVID, they're not really COVID, but their reaction to COVID really changed the marketplace.
Yeah.
And people, they're more ready to stay home and watch things now. And I think these studios' streaming services are actually, that's what's kicking their ass.
But Joe, that was kind of done on purpose too, in a way, if you go and look.
Well, okay. Yeah, I understand that. But what I'm telling you is they wonder why they're losing all this money and why people won't go to the theater when all they have to do is pay $10 and wait 2 months and they can watch it.
Mm-hmm. It's like 20, $25, 20 if you're lucky to go in. Then you, if you want some shit out of the concession, that's another $25, $25.
Yep.
I bring shit in. I don't give a fuck. They still let people bring backpacks in. They don't check them. I open my backpack. If I go to a movie, the last movie I went to was like 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I was going to movies during COVID. I will never stop going to the theater.
No,
I'm just telling you the opposite of what you're
I
saying.
know, but
I'm one of those guys that loves that experience. So
yeah, I love going, but if it wasn't so bloody expensive, so I just wait till everything gets to where I can go sail the wonderful seas.
Right.
Also,
Well, what we do is
metropolitan areas paying for parking is another factor.
Yeah, you got to pay
parking's
for
another
parking.
thing.
There are several places
Most
out
definitely.
here in Arizona where you have to pay to park your car if you want to go see a movie.
most families nowadays have an excellent TV and surround sound and at home because of tech. And and the fact that they're putting out, I'll tell you what, when Warner Brothers that first year after COVID decided the entire year they were going to have day and date release on both theaters and streaming, they cut their own noses off.
Yeah.
I mean, I went and saw The Matrix Part 4 with my wife on Christmas Day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it was horrible, but we love that. If there's any trilogy that both of us get into, it's The Matrix. My wife loves The Matrix, and I'm not going to tell you how much she loves it, but she digs it. Okay, that's just all there is to it. And we decided to support that movie. I mean, we don't go see everything in the theater, but I'm not going to see Indiana Jones. I'm just not going to do it.
Me neither.
I don't support that movie. I'm not going to. And what is Christian talking about here? Ariel, if I was trying to get you in bed, you would be there by now. Wonder what happened. She's laughing at him. Yeah. I sure am sweaty all of a sudden. What's this white stuff? Good Lord.
she
Ariel,
goes
you
crazy.
are incorrigible, girl. That's crazy. She acts like the biggest nymph that ever walked the earth. But we love you. But I think they're cutting their nose off to spite their face with these streaming companies.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They've
Well-
either got to make it a longer waiting period to see it on a streaming service, or they've got to just cash in the streaming services and go back to putting their stuff on Netflix, licensing it out to Netflix or something, because they're cutting off their own noses with this stuff. I know a lot of people that are like, for instance, the new, what is it? Way of Water, the Avatar movie.
Yeah.
I was waiting until it came on streaming. I just had no intention of going to see it. It's not that I hate it. It was so funny when this first started. Knock was accusing me of hating the movie. I don't hate the movie. I just was not a big fan of the first one. I like to call that one Fern Gully on steroids, and it's cowboys and Indians, and the Indians win. It's not a hard story to understand.
Yeah,
And but I'm looking forward to watching it, but I just wasn't going to spend the money. Now, what I am going to spend the money on, I'm going to spend my money on Mission Impossible here in a couple of weeks. And that's another thing that's going to kill Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have shot their wad on opening weekend and only got 60 million out of it.
Yep.
Right. And I'm not watching you people in the chat. I'm just not. I'll throw it up there, but I'm not watching.
It's getting steamy.
Wait, and I didn't do anything this time. I didn't start.
Actually, wasn't Avatar basically Pocahontas? Yeah, pretty much.
I was
Fern
innocent
Gully.
this time.
It was Fern Gully.
I say Fern Gully on steroids. That's what I call it. But it's just not sustainable, man.
No.
You're charging $10 a month at most. Well, except for Netflix, which they're not studio bound. They've got their own originals and stuff. But the studio ones like Paramount, Universal, which is Peacock, Warner Brothers, which is Max, Disney's got their own, and all of those, the
Apple.
most you're going to pay. I don't think any of them are 10. Maybe Max might be $10. It might.
I thought Max was 15.
Is it 15? I don't know. But
It's probably the most expensive and probably should be the most expensive.
well, it's got the best stuff on it.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They've got HBO's entire library. So, I mean, you got Sopranos, True Blood, Game of Thrones, all that stuff in one place. And you know what the biggest selling point of it to me is?
Yeah.
The fucking old fucking cartoons.
Yep.
The Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner stuff, dude.
They have some of the stuff that you cannot find up there.
Does it have Taxi Cab Confessions? Because
No.
I gotta look and see if that's on.
No, it's not up there.
Bad.
I
Oh,
looked,
you bad
I
boy.
looked.
Oh my God. Yes.
No,
forgot about that
well,
show.
I would talk about the Bunny Ranch.
Max,
Bunny Ranch show.
Max costs. They have a ad supported streaming level. It's only 10, but
I'm
it's
talking about the
16
minimums. Yeah.
It's 16 a month for ad free streaming, and then their ultimate where you watch in 4K and stuff. You can. That's $20 a month.
Okay. Well, I tell you, man, they're cutting off their own noses because, and simply because they're putting on all this stuff on streaming so quickly.
Yep.
Now, I know why they're doing it. They're thinking, oh, we got to get our money out of it, so we'll get people streaming by putting it on there. But they're killing themselves. I mean, these things are staying in theaters in a shorter and shorter time frame. And, to make your money back on these films, you got to leave them in there a month or two, But
well, some shows are coming out like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
After they premiered, they're still in the theaters, but they're on streaming for 3 weeks. Whether it's pay, that you have to pay for it, individual, like the on demand,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But they're coming out in the home arena as early as 3 weeks after release.
Yeah, was it Flash is now? It's going to come out this next week.
I think it's the week after.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon. This
And
week or next week,
Guardians of
yeah.
the Galaxy is in April, which
Yeah.
is a fairly long time. But Disney holds their stuff. Well, that one made money, and it's still making money.
Yeah,
It's
that's
still
the
making
reason why
money.
it's still
Yes.
in the theaters. It's still
in the
making
night-
money. Yeah.
It's still making money in like the 1900 screens it's still on.
Yeah.
Janet from Another Planet is here. Just left the theater from watching Sound of Freedom. Yeah, man. That I keep hearing good stuff about it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
I
I
think
like
I'm going to go
good-
with the family
good
next week.
Christian!
I'm not reading their stuff. I'm just not. I'll throw it up here, but I'm not.
No. That one with Christians.
Yikes. But anyway, let's get back to this over here and see if we can see any more reasons why this is happening. Let's see. The number 8, Indiana Jones 5 was the first movie without Spielberg directing. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, from what I heard, Steven Spielberg or George Lucas didn't want anything to do with this flick.
Yeah, but
So-
did you notice they dragged him out for that
Yeah.
one part where Kennedy got pissed because they said George Lucas, Spielberg, and John Williams, and she didn't get told anything, and she was over there in the corner like the prom queen that didn't get picked.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. I think it's a Gundam had it on his video.
Yeah.
As soon as they
wow.
didn't say, Kathy or Frank Marshall, like the
No.
moment they said John Williams, Frank Marshall started to storm off the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them were like pissed.
But
And
the
then
only thing that
Frank-
stopped him was the fact that George Lucas needed assistance walking off.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Kennedy, she covered herself by, I need to escort George Lucas off.
Yeah.
And I don't think George needed help getting off the stage.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, let
He
me
didn't.
let me put it this way: there was something going on with his left arm that was
It had an unnatural growth attached to it.
Yeah. It's called,
KK, yeah.
Yeah.
But and then Frank Marshall turned around to get them both off the stage because he
Right.
went
Yeah,
back after
he did.
Kathleen Kennedy when he realized she didn't follow him.
Well, there's a simple solution to this stuff. I was listening to, of course, I try and listen to Ripa whenever I get a chance, his For Canon's Sake podcast that he does. And
Yeah.
one of the what they were talking about superhero fatigue. They were talking about the Flash today and how it bombed. And he said part of it's superhero fatigue. He said, no, it's dog shit fatigue. They're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired of dog shit material. Put something good out and we'll go see it.
Mhm.
That kind of thing. And I thought that he's on point when he says that. No doubt.
Need I remind you, Spider-Man still did well.
It's still in the theater. Yeah.
Mhm.
Still there.
I was talking
And
about
it's making.
Spider-Man No Way Home, but
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
the only movie in Phase 4 besides Guardians of the Galaxy that made any money.
Yep. And that's a Sony movie.
Yeah,
Disney's
that's a Sony
only
movie.
seeing 25%
and
of
I
that.
think you could argue those are the only 2 good Phase 4 movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
Did Lucas and Spielberg stay to watch the movie or did they walk out? I'm sure they didn't stick around. I will go see this movie again. I'm sure you will. I've heard nothing but good things about that, Janet. No
Yep.
doubt. Thanks for coming in and putting your 2 cents in about it. Boo, The Flash sucks. Yeah, that's another movie that, it had 1 or 2 things that could have, turned it around, but it's hampered by bad casting. I've never liked
Ezra Miller.
the groomer
Yeah, me
as the Flash. I've never liked him. I just think he's miscast. They made him like an ADD superhero, and that's just not the Flash. If you
It's
ask
sitting
me.
at 247 million.
Yeah.
Is it the Flash?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's not. I just don't see it being profitable.
That's not
going to be.
Considering by all the extra costs and the extra reshoots, because they basically had to reshoot the movie again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're at like 500 million.
yeah,
plus, all the
it's a loss, no doubt.
Yeah.
Let's look at number 7 here. Indiana Jones 5 faced unusual stiff competition at the box office. No, it didn't.
Oh, and
What else?
They're
What
lying
else?
again.
What else came out that last weekend?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No,
Nothing.
not
And
everything.
nothing big is coming out this weekend either.
Nope.
Now,
It's
I mean,
not
it had
until
a good window.
The
yeah, it
weekend
had a
after
great
that's-
window.
The weekend after that's get ruffle stomped, but
Everything's getting stomped. On the 12th, everything begins to dwindle. big time,
Yep.
because the Cruise Meister will be back in the house, no doubt. Let's see. Wasn't Flash being taken out of theaters? Yes, it's already been taken out of theaters.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's already dropping out of theaters.
The new Guardians movie out already? Yeah, it's been out. Absolutely.
I think she may have meant like out of theaters.
No.
It's close.
No,
I'll tell you what.
It's still playing at my local theater.
Let me pull up something that I have on hand here. I've always got this ready to go. We'll pull it up real fast. Let's see.
The Flash is in 2,718 theaters as of yesterday.
Okay. I'm going to pull up the box office receipts from IMDb real quick. As soon as I can get them.
It made 1,071,272 yesterday.
What did the Flash?
Yeah.
Wow. That's sad, man. That is really sad. Hang on one second. Did it pop it up? Yes, it did. Okay. Weekend. Well, we'll look at daily.
Did you see what he said?
Oh, The Sound of Freedom
Mm-hmm.
is in 100 less theaters than The Flash is. And
Yeah, and they're making money.
Million.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. I'm fixing to put it
Single
up
day.
here. This is yesterday. This is yesterday box office wise.
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom was number one with 14 million yesterday. Indiana Jones made 11 yesterday.
Yeah, look how much they.
Yeah, and it's in half the fucking theaters, as you said. It's
One
in half the
movie
theaters.
has destroyed all of Disney and Warner Brothers and DreamWorks
Right.
and like Focus Pictures and
Well,
Paramount too.
That
Like-
it's a minor miracle that The Sound of Freedom is in as many theaters as it is,
Yeah.
considering the sensitive subject matter and the fact that
Right.
Hollywood doesn't like that subject matter
To be
discussed.
discussed. Yeah.
So it,
Now what is that movie
Gibson's
about?
movie?
I don't know.
it's
What
about
is it about?
CP.
Yeah, we can't
Child-
say it on.
Well,
stream.
Okay.
It's
you know,
specifically
in traffic.
about was he an ATF agent or
Mhm.
Border Patrol? Anyway, it's an agent. He decides to quit his job and become a vigilante, taking on traffickers.
Whoa, that's awesome. Oh,
It's
I definitely want to see that movie now, man.
Stars
Yeah,
Jim
I can't
Caviezel,
wait for it to be on my favorite place.
You know whose
Oh, yeah.
whose projects, you know, he doesn't do big name. He turns down big name movies to do these smaller faith based because that's what he believes in.
Yes.
Wasn't
And-
that
and-
Gibson's
and more
movie,
power to him.
Too?
Yeah.
Didn't Gibson have something to do with this?
Uh,
I heard Gibson had something to do with this movie.
it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Would
he
not
might,
surprise
he
me.
might
either.
have been the executive producer of it.
Yeah, so and because he said I'm gonna come out with a movie that's gonna blow people's mind.
Because I know he wasn't the director because
Yeah.
there was a Hispanic person that was the director.
So yeah, I'm looking at my my favorite place and it's not up there. So it'll be about a month maybe because it's doing so good in the theater.
Well, all I can tell you is the movie being up against stiff competition is horseshit.
Yeah, I
That is
know.
for sure.
Everything
Yeah.
that you on there
When an
is just
indie
terrible.
movie is beating its ass, I'm sorry. That's in half as many theaters. Come on,
An
man.
indie
Give me a break.
movie is beating an indie movie.
Yeah, right. An indie
It's about
movie is
traffic.
beating an indie movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not even
Yeah,
about you know
Uh,
a light topic.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the producers, and Mel Gibson isn't listed anywhere.
okay, he was
Hmm.
said he was going to come out with.
Yeah, there was some article where he said that it's claimed that he was a part of doing the final edit
Yeah,
on
he
it.
said he was a part of
Hmm.
this movie.
Well,
But I think he is unlisted.
well, he could, that could very well be the case. But let's look at number 6. Indiana Jones 5 doesn't appeal as much to younger audiences. Well, if you made it worth a shit, it would.
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, the three Indiana Jones movies, I consider that trilogy being one of the best ever. I mean, arguably the worst one is just a fun romp, Temple of Doom, But what's and me and Rhonda were discussing this the other day. I don't know if you guys realize this, but he loses in every movie. Yeah, he loses in every movie. Yet he is victorious.
Like loses the artifact.
Yes, he never
but
gets what he's after. Never
well,
does. Right? I mean, the Lost Ark, right? They survived it being open, and then it was put in that giant warehouse where it'll never be found again.
So
right?
he did kind of get it. It just got
Yeah,
put away.
but look at it. He can't do what he really wants to do,
Well,
which is study.
Okay, the cross accord model he got.
Yeah.
He got that.
The cross.
He got it. He tried to get it when he was a kid,
And
but when he flash forward, he gets on that boat, gets it, and
Yes,
gives
he
to
did.
Marcus,
This belongs
remember?
in a museum. Okay,
Yeah.
that one case. Okay,
Yeah, the
I
one
got you.
case.
Technically,
Got
he
you.
got
That-
the Holy Grail too, but
Yeah, he got the Holy Grail too.
Well,
He
in
helped his
fairness-
dad with it, but in the final part when he tried to get it, his father told him, "Don't, man. It's not
You
worth your
can't
life."
because
Right?
you can't bring it past the seal.
right.
So he couldn't
In
get
fairness-
that.
And it was
You don't-
Elsa's fault that that it went past the seal.
And the Shankara stones ended up at the bottom of a river.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
you know.
you do not want the Ark of the Covenant. You don't want that. Because,
No,
Oh,
you
hell
don't want that. No,
Yeah.
No,
nobody
bad,
wants
no.
that unless you
And
like
I
having your
literally
face
mean,
melted.
hell no.
You know.
Like-
But anyway, yeah, I don't buy the doesn't appeal to younger audiences. I tell you what, stop having. They should have done what they do with the James Bond series, and imagine if they made an Indiana Jones movie with like a Chris Pratt.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
You know,
I would watch.
imagine.
that. Literally, I would. Watch
Everybody would.
that. Oh, I
Everybody
would go
would
see
watch
it.
that.
And then you get like the chick from Agent Carter as
Right,
his
Haley
like
Atwell.
side.
Yeah,
You
she's
get.
going to be in Mission Impossible.
I
Yeah.
know you get her as his love interest, bro. And then they go on some crazy ass adventures to find things. Oh my
Mhm.
God, you gotta like, go,
Knock-
dude. It
Knock,
would-
you mentioned Tom Holland for every role.
He is
Yeah,
all
you
about
do,
some Tom
Rod.
Holland, baby. E. Clay Thomas says he got the idol at the beginning
Yes,
of
he
Raiders.
did.
Yeah, and it promptly got stolen from him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He loses all the time. I'm sorry. You guys cannot make an argument
for
that he
two
doesn't.
times.
No.
Except for twice, Joe. You know.
John, again, if I remember you being a part of the stream when we talked about Indy, is that it would have been better if Indy was basically talking about 5 like he was talking to his grandkids.
Okay. So
Oh,
like
yeah,
on
yeah.
Young
Like he was telling
Indiana
a story.
Jones Adventures.
Yeah,
And on Young
telling a
Indiana
story.
Jones Adventures.
That would be
No.
cool.
Where
Yeah.
he was the old man, he had his eye patch.
But still, it comes down to the same thing. You
Yeah.
have to recast the role and make it a younger person in it. And
Yeah.
to be clear, it needs to stay in the pre-World War II era. Okay,
Or World War II era.
Did you see what
During the
Wookiee
war.
or
said,
in there.
Joe?
Yeah.
Right there.
Mhm.
You see what Wookiee said?
No, but I'm working my way down to it, buddy. Let's
Okay.
see. Arrow said, but he did win the Ark. It's just the government took it. Once again, he
It's
got the
museum.
idol and it was taken away. He got the Ark and it was taken away. He loses every time, guys.
See, Dr. Jones, there is nothing which you get which I will take.
Tom
from you.
Holland for Indiana Jones. Sure.
Or,
Knock
you know,
it
if
out.
you're going to do a time travel thing with Indiana Jones, have Harrison Ford run into Sean Patrick Flannery,
Oh,
who
Yes.
played him in the Young Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know what? Tom
Yeah,
Holland
that'd be
had
cool.
his chance to
Yeah.
be young
Yeah.
Indiana Jones in that one Uncharted movie, and he was terrible. Okay.
Tom
well,
Holland?
the script was terrible.
That I
He
was
wasn't
fixing to
that-
say, and he was miscast in that. They'd
Yeah.
have been better having Mark Wahlberg play that guy.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg
Than
should have
him.
been that,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
Nathan Fillion should have been Scully.
Yep.
Janet from Another Planet says he can't win for losing. That's my point exactly. He can't
Yeah.
win for losing.
He
I-
just get
Um,
away every now and then, though. but-
No, he got the stones back and gave them to the people. Did he? I don't remember that. That's why.
Yeah.
Shut
That's
up.
right. Yes, he did. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I stand
He's still-
corrected, guys.
So I
That's
told
corrected.
you he wins.
Yeah. Okay.
but
Occasionally,
Joe,
I'll give him a 50-50 track record. How's
Yeah,
that?
because
Your
he
technicality-
got the cross.
Right.
He got the stones.
Yeah.
He kind of got the ark, but lost it at the end.
yeah,
Whatever.
Your technicality could be, did he ever profit off anything? And I don't.
Nothing.
No, he
Nothing.
Well,
Didn't
he
profit
didn't
off
want
it
to.
at all.
He
He
did
did.
He returned it to the museum or where it belonged.
Right.
You know.
Let's see. Wookie B Bad says, I said this movie needed him talk to his class on his last day and have Pratt do the action. Exactly. Yeah. And that's all of this is reinforcing the point I'm talking about do it like the. If you want to involve Ford, yes, have him talk to his grandchildren or talk to his class or something. But a younger actor playing him in the past, yes, absolutely. Let's see. Shaka Zulu says, "I wouldn't say he loses though."
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see the
fine,
one?
guys.
Balloon?
What, yeah, boy. No more time travel. Yeah, time
Yeah,
travel's
that's-
getting lame. It really
Yeah.
is. Multiverses are getting lame too.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
screw
so
Tom
sick of
Holland.
it.
I'm sick of him. Let's see. Holland should have been young Drake in flashbacks. Yeah, that could have worked.
I
Yeah.
can agree with that one.
I've never gotten into the Uncharted series, so I don't really know that much about it. Indy 5 would have been better if they had Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox help in the time.
Dude, that would have been like a
Oh my
ultimate
God.
crossover.
Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. Yes, absolutely.
I have a shirt.
He only got one stone, but lost it to the villagers. He didn't lose it. He gave it to him. And I stand corrected. We'll give him a 50-50 track record. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I still think Tom Holland comes up a little short. But anyway,
right. Yeah, he always comes up a little short, pal.
You know,
Yeah, he
with,
does.
Yeah.
with Harrison Ford, you know, I read a lot of the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and Han Solo often loses. Like there's
Yes.
always that in all the stories I read. There's always the bounty from Jabba the Hutt, and in the story, he always finds a way not to be able to repay that that bounty off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, something happens and he doesn't get the loot, right? Yeah.
Or he kissed Leia for the first time and then got put in carbonite.
There you go.
You know?
Look
Yeah.
out. But let's continue here. Number 5, Indiana Jones 5 story leaks could have further put audiences off. You think? They reshot half the damn movie because of it.
And they reshot the ending too, and Wookiee said something just now.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
Wookiee said
Let's
something
see.
just now.
The problem with time jumps and multiverse stuff, it takes on hell of a writer. It takes a hell of a writer, and none of those get these jobs. You know, I think it's just an excuse to have no consequences. I mean, you can kill every character in a story. I mean, my favorite X-Men movie basically gave the middle finger to X-Men 3. Okay? Yeah. My favorite X-Men movie is Days of Future Past. I've said this before. It's my favorite X-Men movie ever. It's a 2-book story in the comic books that impacted the rest of the X-Men series from then on. I mean, it introduced the Sentinels and everything, and the movie wasn't exactly like the books, but it made it possible for them to wipe out the fact that Jean Grey was dead and Cyclops was dead and everything. He basically gave the middle finger to that movie.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I loved it. I thought it was freaking great, you know. But that's the rarity. You know what I mean? You're right about that, Wookiee. It does take a good writer. And, you know, most of the time it's an excuse to be able to get away with whatever the fuck you want, because all you have to do is just change time and fix it.
Well, you mean what they're doing with Secret Invasion, where they're changing the history of things that went on?
You know? Well, I don't know. I haven't seen all of it, so don't mention that show again, or I'll mute you. But
if you have a competent writer, they can write a straightforward Indiana Jones movie. Like I'm talking about one with no time travel. I'm talking about just like some sort of just classic adventure.
Yes.
And it could make $800 million. Like
easily.
Yeah.
Easily. If they just recast the role, have a younger guy do it, and make an Indiana Jones movie.
Treat it
not
like
the
James
broken
Bond.
Down old man movie. You know?
Treat it like James Bond.
Yeah.
Have Short Round be his partner in crime, for lack of a better word.
Actually, if they did the Adventures of Short Round, that's $1 billion movie right there. Because people would go see Adventures of Short Round.
And he's hot.
Oh, yeah. I would see Short Round in a movie.
The reason why, Ariel, the reason why you're not seeing his chats is he's actually commenting on Jed's simulcast. Okay.
Yeah. So I always put it up for him every week with me.
Yeah. Sniffing some boo right here. Yeah.
I know.
I
Shaka's like sniff.
Let's see. I did like the X-Men 2 scene when Magneto escaped his prison.
Yeah.
Dude, that whole movie is fantastic. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just that if you're an X-Men fan, the 2 movies that stand out to me that they made was X-Men 2, X-Men United. You can't tell me that that's not the greatest opening scene of any X-Men movie ever when Nightcrawler tries to kill the president. That is just fucking badass. And I do like what they did with his character in that show and made him the religious guy. I thought that was fantastic.
He is in the comic.
Yeah,
He is in the
exactly.
comic.
That's what
He's
I'm saying.
very
It was
religious.
right.
Yeah.
It was lore accurate is my point.
Yeah.
And Days of Future Past.
And we didn't get proper X-Men outfits until like the 6th movie either.
Yeah.
And then they stopped. I was like, fuck.
Well, even like the 90s X-Men cartoon, like it had a Judeo-Christian ethos to it. There were multiple episodes that referenced that. Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why we're not getting these movies that we want to get that are accurate and stuff is because Hollywood, as it comes out and says, we don't want anybody that's fans of the property in the writers' room.
Yeah. I agree.
That's a standing rule at
Marvel, and it's fucking stupid. I don't.
Okay. Excuse my French. Fucking Nate Moore needs to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's
a mentality. I don't know that it's one person. Okay. The only reason why I'm happy about what's going on at Warner right now is because of David Zaslav, because I know he's only going to greenlight shit that's going to make money.
Yeah.
He's a bottom line guy, and that's what it's taken with some of these studios. And
John,
go ahead, man.
John, part of it could be that you want to get inexperienced writers in there because if you're a showrunner, they're not going to question you as much as an experienced writer will.
Yeah, look at what somebody that does know the lore did on The Witcher. Cavill walked away from that shit. He was like, no, this ain't the fucking story. What's wrong with you? So, I mean, that's why they don't want people in there. They want to be... you guys, we know this. We've covered it how many times on all these channels.
Yeah,
it's all about ESG, and they're trying to, keep the diversity and inclusion officers. They're starting to get whacked though. The pendulum is swinging, guys.
So there's this
it's swinging.
Valiant just put up just a little bit ago.
What you got here?
Valiant
what is
Indiana Jones goes down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I just put up too. Yeah. That's the box office receipts for yesterday.
Yep. Can we look at D-Day Cobra's meme real quick?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh, it was right underneath.
Shit!
Let me put
it
back up. Let me put it back up.
Yeah, go ahead.
The recently remonetized GN.
Oh, dude,
yes.
It's fucking Thanos.
Oh, it's just Thanos, yeah.
With 2,000 fewer screens too, and then Jay, look
he
what
just
Jay
snapped
says.
those screens right out of existence.
Look at what Jay says. Embarrassing.
Pretty bad. Caffeine Kennedy.
Caffeine Kennedy,
Caffeine Kennedy. That's
you
great.
Hate to see it. It lost to the sound of freedom on the 4th of July, and I'm like,
oh, that's right, man.
Look at Mecha J is like, that's a big oof.
All right, let's see. The next one we got here, let's see. Yeah, the leaks killed it because any fan would hate that stuff. Because basically, if you don't know the lore behind that, guys, if you're watching, and didn't know the lore behind the leaks had her replacing him in history.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And basically wiping him out of existence. So yeah, of course it turned everybody off. I mean, that's ridiculous. Okay. Number 4, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny's con premiere backfired for Disney. Well, yeah. Now they thought they had polished this turd and it was ready for reviews and put it out at Cannes, and then that was 2 months before the opening.
Yeah.
And why
did they roll the dice and screw the pooch or what? Oh
Snake
my
eyes.
God!
Came up snake eyes.
That is one of the biggest gaffes they made right there.
Yeah.
Is putting it out at Cannes. You're just opening it up for all kinds of friggin' slings and arrows, man.
Because a blockbuster needs to be really good to get positive reviews out of there. Because
you don't show it. I mean, man, look, this roadmap is not hard to follow. I always bring people back to a movie called Them. Have you ever seen this old 50s? Monster movie about the giant radioactive ants. It's a sci-fi classic, man, and it's really, really good. It's got James Arness. Yes, Matt Dillon's in there, you know. But it's shot kind of documentary style, you know, and like, you know, they're investigating what it is and they don't really know what it is. And you don't really see the ants for half the fucking movie. You know, they're trying to speculate what it is, right? And when they were the ad campaign for that, all they did was put out posters that said them in big block letters like it was a fucking horror movie. Okay. Yeah. They didn't let you know what it was. They kept a lid on everything. That was one of the first studios that put a lid on scripts and did not want anyone to know what this was. And then when it came out in the theaters, people went and saw it in droves because of word of mouth. They were like, you're not going to believe. It was awesome. These giant ants are eating the world. It was fucking great, you know?
Well, I mean, it plays into
a good movie.
Psychology.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a cool movie.
Like if you go to if you go to the fair and they have the freak show, they're going to keep the freak show in the tent so that you don't know actually what's in there unless you go in there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Cloverfield followed the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we knew it was a monster movie, but that's all we knew.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even the first Superman movie, the posters didn't really have pictures of him. All it said is you'll believe a man can fly. That's all it said.
Yeah.
That was all it said.
Sometimes the most simplest thing works, you know?
Yep. Ariel says, like when movies do that, not show the monster until almost the end. Yeah. Sometimes it's effective, you know.
And sometimes it backfires. Like
sometimes
Godzilla
it does.
2014.
Wasn't it Cloverfield that they kind of backfired with that? They didn't really show the monster until the very end of it.
Oh, when it was crap, and you didn't see the monster fully until like the next movie or so.
Well, it was Godzilla 2014 that they only had Godzilla in it for a short amount of time, and that's where they realized that's why Godzilla versus or Godzilla King of the Monsters was freaking destroy all monsters again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you know, we saw Godzilla this time.
A Quiet Place was this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
say that again.
Same reason A Quiet Place was successful.
Yeah. I didn't really know what it was. People didn't know. They didn't show it in the advertising. One of my favorite examples is Terminator 2, and it made its money. I'm not saying that, but imagine what a shock it would have been in that flick if they hadn't shown you him helping Homeboy out in the trailers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would have been a totally different thing. But I hate it when movies give away serious plot points in the trailer. I mean, I'm always leery of those shows when they do that.
Did you know that the rivalry between Stallone and Schwarzenegger was such that Schwarzenegger went to James Cameron while he was writing the script for Terminator 2 and said, I want to kill as many people as possible in the movie. Just because I want basically my body count to surpass
to be higher than Stallone's,
whatever the last Rambo movie was.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. I can believe it.
And then, like 20 years down the line, they're in the same movie in the Impossibles or the
and they get along just fine. Yeah. Well, that's because they're old men now trying to get into heaven. They're not narcissists all of a sudden. I mean, you know, there's a lot. Look, these guys that are that pretend for a living, they especially the guys that make the big bucks, the Keanu Reeves are rare. The kind of guy you can go have a beer with. They're rare. Okay, most of them are like Cruise. They're narcissistic. They want everything their way, and luckily, you know, Cruise's way is a way to make a good movie. But I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, we were doing. God, John, it was one of the first times I did that 70s show when we did one of my top 5 favorites all time, Towering Inferno. In that movie, it was the first time they ever put both of the lead actors on names on the screen at the same time. And they actually, I can't remember how it went. I'd have to look it up and see which way it was. But the one that was on the left, or excuse me, when you're reading it left to right, the one that was on the left had to be put lower and the other one put up higher, because the guy that was, I can't remember which one it was, if it was Paul Newman or Steve McQueen, but they put that one, as you read left to right, lower. That way the other guy's name was higher to balance it out, because Steve McQueen wanted exactly the same amount of reading lines as Paul Newman. He wanted it exactly down to the number of words. I mean, these guys are narcissistic, dude. The guys at the top of the game, they want to stay on the top of the mountain. You know what I mean?
Steve McQueen, just hyper competitive. I mean, he was a legit race car driver. Like,
yes, he was.
He could have been a professional at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul did it for a little bit too, but he didn't stay in it like Steve did. Steve, man, he was a psycho for it.
Yeah, both were surprisingly good at that.
Yeah, he got tired. Absolutely. He got tired of racing and went into making salad dressing.
Right. Let's see. Would Nicolas Cage be a Keanu Reeves type? I don't know. I don't know. He's one of the Coppolas. They're a little flaky, so I'm not sure. I think he'd have a drink with you, but he might spike it and see how crazy you act too. He seems like that kind of guy to me. But anyway, let's get back to the list here and see what else we can find out.
I have one thing. I have one thing that I found out what today is, and I want to share it with you.
What is it,
sir? So today is a national holiday for sun.
National Bikini Day.
And it's a wonderful day. Yes.
Oh my God.
So I have this wonderful thing right here that we can just play on the stream for National Bikini Day.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
National Bikini Day.
Dead or alive.
Let's go.
Dead or alive. It's the beach game on Dead or Alive.
Yeah, I know. National Bikini Day. We gotta celebrate this day.
There you go.
You
we are celebrating. There you go. Yes. I remember that game. I used to play it a lot.
Yeah.
I did. The jiggle effect was good in that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was excellent.
Yes, it was.
You knew
the best jiggle effect ever, though. The best jiggle effect ever. Rumble Roses. It's the greatest friggin' jiggle effect game ever. Okay, let's see. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Death. Yeah, the can thing. Yeah, they screwed the pooch on that. Number 3, a lot of major 2023 movies are underperforming at the box office. Well, yeah, and I think if you're looking for a reason, I think it's the reasons that we have been talking about. Why pay all that exorbitant amount of money when you can stay home and stream it? Because they're going to put it out a couple months later.
It's also the Bud Light effect. People are tired of being lectured to.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the reason why.
The pendulum swinging back, right? Yeah.
And that's the reason why Ben and Jerry's took it in the ass yesterday.
Yeah, right? Let's see.
Well, and that's why these companies are getting rid of their diversity and inclusion, because they're like directors. They're
saying it.
Hey, we need to save money somewhere, and we're losing money because of all these policies that don't really do anything except make us look bad.
Oh, and Anna just showed up.
I saw her. How you doing, Anna? It's good to see you, girl.
Hey, Anna.
And Ariel says the reason is also Hollywood itself. Yes, exactly. That's what we're talking about. This it started with the it's been going on with the ESG stuff for a while, but when the Academy announced that they were going to enforce diversity and inclusion rules on just being nominated for film awards, that was when I heard that, I was like, well, you're dictating how to make a movie now. And artists aren't going to be able to do what they want to do if you're doing that. So
this really huge push towards all this agenda stuff started in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. We know that. It reared its ugly head in 2016, the loudest though, with the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was one of the people that started it. So.
Yep.
Well, you also have the thing that complicates it is there's a larger and larger amount of the population that is mixed race. So how do you determine if this person meets the criteria or doesn't meet it? Like, it's all subjective.
Right, it is. It absolutely is. Let's see. Ron is talking about Super Mario came out on digital pretty fast, but it destroyed the box office. How do you fellas explain that? Exception to the rule or of summer flops? No, I would say that it was kind of like Sonic. Word of mouth did that one good too. I mean, it was going to do good out the gate regardless because it's Mario, but it sustained because people enjoyed the movie and they went back multiple times. I think it was
still 45 days because that's the new normal is 45 days.
Yeah,
and it had a good window. Yep.
It did have a good window. It wasn't up against much, but I think even if other stuff was out, it would have done that well regardless because it was a good movie. People that played the game enjoyed it. They gave people what they wanted out of a Mario movie. And that's what we're talking about. It's kind of like what Ripper was saying. It's not superhero fatigue. It's dog shit fatigue. You make a good movie, we're going to go.
Yep.
People went and saw Mario in droves. Last year it was Top Gun Maverick. They went in droves. Okay. And I was one of the ones that didn't go see Avatar. A lot of fucking people did. And it wasn't woke. It was just a story like the last one was, right?
Yeah.
And so, hey, that's what you got out of that. That's what I would say, Ron. Not an exception to the rule at all. I think what we're trying to say is start making some good stuff and we'll go see it.
Well, and the story with Avatar is so simple that if there were no words and no subtitles, you would still understand the entire movie.
Yes.
Avatar
absolutely.
1 and 2.
Yep. I mean, I've heard several times, several people say when I'm on these panels, can you turn the sound off and enjoy the movie? I mean, and if you can do that, you've got something good for sure. Let's see. Are they just saying hi to each other? Every day is bikini day for Jed. Of course it is. We knew that about him already.
Right, Errol?
Let's see.
Especially
Feels like
on
it started
Friday.
in 2000. Yeah, right. Especially on Friday, no doubt when the MFR comes on. Feels like it started in 2016, at least for me in high school.
Yeah, I would say, Shock, it started hardcore in 2016. And Ghostbusters was the one that really hit it off.
Yeah. And Ariel says that Avatar was a Don't Kill the Whales movie. And we've had a couple of those through time. I remember when I was serving in the military, I actually saw them filming Star Trek 4 in downtown San Francisco. The part where they were trying to... Yeah, we actually drove through the intersection where they were filming at and saw Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and them on the street corner, when they were divvying up the money is the scene they were doing. And man, I tell you what, that was a Don't Kill the Whales movie. And it was great,
Do you know where they keep the nuclear vessels?
Yeah. Do you know where they keep the vessels? But yeah, a lot of things are underperforming because they're putting out a lot of crap. Yep. That's what it is. Okay, we got two more on this article. Let's see. The franchise already said goodbye to Indiana Jones before.
Yep.
Twice.
Yeah, I guess with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, they were trying to hand it off to Shia LaBeouf, as I like to call him. Didn't they have a big wedding scene with him and Marion? And he gave him the hat, and and
he goes, "Oh, don't think so fast," and then Indy picks it back up and puts it in his head.
I guess what frustrates me about Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf being in there, even at the time, we all knew he was a flavor of the month. Like we all knew he was not going to be an A-lister.
He was the Tom Holland of his time.
I would give Tom Holland a little more credit.
A little more credit?
Okay. Yeah. I don't think you'll have Tom Holland install a camera in a random wall and start chanting, "He will not divide us" 1,000 times.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I meant at the time. We did. Yeah. He wasn't fully off the reservation yet.
But my point is that they could have hired a more competent actor,
right,
in that role.
I got you.
They chose to go with the popular choice of the time.
Yeah, it's what are you gonna do? You can say what you want about the guy. He's a flake, but he, unlike the guy that plays the Flash, Ezra Miller, unlike him, who is a flake and is not talented at acting, this guy is a talented actor. He's a flake, but he's a talented actor. Well, you got to give him that.
Shia LaBeouf and Ezra Miller both were child actors, and I'm telling you, other than Kurt Russell and a few other exceptions,
Ron Howard.
That's
another one.
Ron Howard, he did.
Child actors end up effed up.
They do. They just look at the Coreys, right? It's well, and that.
Well, Ron actually put some good movies out. He put
even before the movies, dude, he was on every TV in America for a long time.
But Ron's parents made him live
the best movies,
as normal of a life as possible. He
Yes.
played high school basketball. He did a lot of things.
His
that
parents,
normal-
I was going to say, it had a lot to do with parenting, because
Yeah.
a lot of these parents that sit there and say, hey, they're going to get their education, they're going to do their kids stuff, you're going to have to move your filming around his life, because
Yep.
you know he's going to have his life. That's all parenting. And yeah.
Yep. It always
here you
comes
go.
down to parenting.
Look at Ariel, Mickey Rooney. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
He was a child actor too. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. So let's see. The last one down here, it says Indiana Jones needed a full reboot more than it needed Harrison Ford. Absolutely.
Yep.
And not really a full reboot, but what it needed was a new actor playing Indiana Jones that was young, that they could put in that era of the Jones movies. Because you guys know this, it's an old story. You know, Spielberg and George Lucas got together and they both grew up on serials and they loved them and they wanted to make an American James Bond, and they came up with this guy. And that's what it was supposed to be. And if that's what it was going to be,
Well,
then when Harrison was done with it, you get another actor, plug him in the shoes, give him the whip, and keep going. You know, I mean, that's what they should have done.
and they also grew up reading the serials like Doc Savage, or not
Yeah.
the serials, but the pulps like Doc Savage and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Oh, fuck.
Absolutely.
Well, if you look at Harrison Ford,
Not you. I just saw something. I was
He
like,
was-
oh, they're gonna do another Mortal Kombat thing and do it some stupid shit, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. Fuck them.
What are you talking about?
I just saw something on Twitter that tomorrow we're leading off the Combat Cast with a new trailer, and join us. Don't miss out. And
Okay.
remember how we did the stream the last time, and it was like a 2-minute, not
Yeah.
even 5 minutes, and we hyped it up, and everybody came
Yeah,
over to the
yeah.
channel.
So
I'm
you're not
so-
going to take the bait again?
Oh no, I'm not gonna. No, I got burned twice on them. Fuck them.
Okay. Matt, what were you saying, bud?
Go.
What were you-
Well,
what were you-
Sorry,
first of all,
Matt.
Mortal Kombat, if I remember correctly, they made the sequel like 4 or 5 months after the original one, the
Yeah.
video game. Like they were churning those things out at the beginning.
Yeah.
But in terms of Indy, you know, Harrison Ford was like 46, 47, I think, whenever they did The Last Crusade,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
Chris
definitely.
Pratt's like 44 now. I just had to look up his age. So
Mhm.
they could take an actor about Chris Pratt's age and bring him in immediately after Last Crusade era
Yeah.
Indy, and like take
Absolutely.
Indiana Jones like into the 1950s or whatever they want to do with that
Yep.
with a new actor. But I don't know, that ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed. They've totally blown it out of the water. They definitely, I mean, they tried to hand it off to Shia LaGouf, and that didn't quite work out. And that's one of the big components that has to do with this one failing so bad. The other one's word of mouth about the leaks. I agree with that one they were talking about. That's going to kill that movie, no doubt. But the biggest one to me, man, and it has to do with a lot of these movies. Look, you're going to have to put something out good, and you've got to quit putting it on streaming so quick. If you want to make some money at the box office, you got to let people know, hey, you're going to have to go see this at the movie if you want to see it. This 45-day window, and then they put it on streaming, you're going to keep seeing these low box office returns. And basically, I mean, you don't have to be a mathematician. If you go see 3 movies in a month, how much does that cost for one person? Right? About $30 on average to go see 3 movies. When
closer
with
to
a streaming
45.
service, they lose 20 of those dollars. Right? So,
In
Yeah.
I mean,
non-areas like me, because I'm in a smaller area, smaller town,
mhm.
where it's under $10 for their normal, like normal everyday price.
Yeah. Right.
But if you go like up to Kansas City, it's at least 15 or 20, depending on which theater you go to.
Right. I
So-
like this one here. And Ariel, you are channeling the Foxy one, my wife, right here. Stop having bad writing for female actress because they seem to make them horrible. Yeah. Start, they like to think that strong female characters never existed before all this diversity and inclusion stuff. I got news for you. The Matrix was made at the turn of the century. It was like 1999, wasn't it? And Trinity's one of the toughest chicks you'll ever run into in a friggin' movie. You know what I mean? And there's all kinds of examples. Just that's the first one I think of off the top of my head.
That fourth movie was just they screwed Neo over.
Yeah,
they made him sit in the back seat. I was so pissed about that.
Also, writers don't give female characters in most instances don't give female characters a lot of depth.
No,
it's all very surface level. You know, either they're inconsequential or they're the most important character in the movie. Like that, they can never make them be somewhere in between.
Yeah. See, I like. I would have to say my favorite strong, independent woman character is probably Celine
Medea.
from the Underworld movies. And she has to deal with adversity all the time. Nobody listens to her. You know what I mean? If you watch the first Underworld movie, nobody listens to her. She's got it figured out halfway through the movie what's going on. And, you know, nobody listens to her, and she fights her way through it and gets the victory in the end, you know?
I guess
I love the Underworld movies.
I thought you were going to say Medea. I guessed wrong.
No, Medea. No, I don't do Medea. I haven't seen any of those. I guess I should. I've heard Medea Christmas is really good. Yeah. Ariel, did you knock him off the stream? What did you do? He's still around somewhere. Don't worry. He'll be back. He's probably got some kind of little goof thing he's got going on there. Yeah. His internet probably blinked out. Who knows? But that's what they need to do. They need to. I hate to tell them, this streaming experiment that they tried, it's starting to blow up in their face. It really is. These big Hollywood studios are losing a ton of bread on these streaming services.
You got to think about it. There's just not as many like new fields of customers as there were years ago. Like, yes, there's always going to be new people that come of age that can afford to get a streaming service. But whenever they first started, I mean, it was wide open. Everybody was going to be a new customer. You had a larger amount of people to filter through to get people to get your service. Now you've got as many going as you do coming in a lot of cases.
Did you see what Shaka said, Joe?
Hang on. Let's see. Shaka Zulu says, need more Emily Blunts and Jen Ortegas to openly say that too. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Love those two. Love their attitudes
I love both of them too.
Hell yeah. Jenna Ortega, when I heard that stuff about her, you know, not agreeing with lines because her character wouldn't say them, that's great. Why it's supposed to be a collaborative effort. I mean, unless your name is Kubrick, you know what I mean, or somebody at that level,
Tarantino.
Tarantino, who wants things a certain way and you're going to do it his way, and no matter what. Most of these films, I would even say that Spielberg is a collaborative movie maker. I doubt he would. I guarantee you, Richard Dreyfuss, when they made Jaws, when he was making faces at friggin' Quint, you know, and shit, and the crushing of the Dixie Cup and all that stuff, guarantee you half of that was improvised. You know, his movies are a lot like that, you know, but there's not many of them. Oh my God, yes. You hit me hard right there, Anna.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that chick. Look, I'll tell you how bad it is. Ultraviolet is one of my guilty pleasures. I know it's not that great a movie, but I don't care. Mia's in it, and she's gorgeous, and she's a tough chick, and she's awesome. Yes, absolutely. I love Mia.
As far as Tarantino, my only advice to any actor that wants to work for him, and apparently he's only going to do, I think, one more film, would be you have to read every word. Like, if he says, I went and ate at a roadside diner, don't say I went and ate at a diner. Say, I went and ate at a roadside
You better
diner.
read it exactly the way you wrote it. Yeah.
And two, don't have bunions. Don't have corn.
No shit. Get a pedicure because your feet are going to be featured. No doubt. That guy has got a fetish for feet. No doubt about it. Oh, man.
Fucking Matt has a fetish for Bree's feet, man.
both are also super hot. Yeah, they are. They are super hot, but they're well written characters too. I mean, I like the Resident Evil movies. They're a guilty pleasure for me too. They're kind of like the James Bond of horror. You know what you're getting into when you go into a Resident Evil movie. You're going to see a lot of bloodletting, you know, and it's not going to be anything like the video game. It's its own entity. You know what I mean?
Speaking of movies, should we move into the July movies?
Yeah, I knew this one was going to take a while. I knew it was. That's why, I don't know if we're going to get to Knox video games or not, but yeah, we're going to transition.
He's not here. It's not fair to do it.
It's not fair to hit that, is it? Okay. So what we're talking about next, boys and girls, is we have got to get into, it's the first Wednesday of the month, and my love for movies says that on my Pulp Culture Show, we let you know what's coming out this month. And we've got some doozies this month. Let me tell you. The ones right here that you see featured in the thumbnail that I have there, I'm paying to go see all three of those in the theater.
I'm sorry you're going to go see Barbie movie. I am so sorry.
And you know why I'm going to see it?
Yeah,
because
I know.
Foxy wants to see
I know, like,
it. Okay, you know why I'm going.
Yeah. Yes. I know why you're going, but God bless you, brother, for being good. Oh my God, I've heard about that movie so far. Oh my God.
I was kind of optimistic about it when I first saw the trailer for it because, they showed her feet walking, and then when she stepped out of the shoes, she was still on her toes. I was like, oh man, they get the toys. That's awesome.
but then the actor and the producers and everybody said it is a feminist woke movie, and they fucked all their hard work with the last 3 months.
Well, and we know that the woke terrorist cannot deal with that. No doubt.
Yes.
I saw the new trailer in front of Indy, and the whole story is about Barbie losing her Barbie powers and having to come to the real world.
Really?
And become a woman. Yeah.
Yep. Become a strong, independent woman?
Yeah. Wow. Become a woman. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see how that turns out.
It does have Will Ferrell as the toy executive, so that gets
he will fucking get in any movie he can, though, bro.
Yeah. Will Ferrell is... I'm not a fan. I never have been. I
used to have some respect for him, but bro, he will pop up in any movie he can.
The best Will Ferrell movies, boys and girls. I got 3 of them for you. And outside of these 3, I don't need to see anything he does. Talladega Nights is the perfect Will Ferrell movie. Okay. You saw I just played a clip from it because he is so great in that movie. It's tailor-made for his stupidness. It really is.
Yeah.
The next one is Zoolander. He is fantastic as that idiot bad guy in that movie. He's great in that flick.
Well, and he's getting small doses like in that role.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you got to bring up Night in the Roxbury and Elf.
Nah.
Yeah.
No. I don't have to bring those up. No, I don't, because I don't get into them. That's me, though. That's me. Yeah. You can love them all you want. I don't
those
like
two were him just being the silly motherfucker.
The other one is Semi-Pro, I think is the name of it. Semi-Pro, the basketball movie.
That was a good movie.
That one
I
was
agree
pretty
with
good.
you on all this.
Yeah. Those are the 3 that I can stomach. The rest of it you can have. But anyway, let's get into what's going on this month.
Shaka goes, I'm going with my wife too. R.I.P. brother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shaka Zulu, we got to do for our ladies, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, look, if it was a G.I. Joe movie, she'd go see it with me.
Yeah, thank goodness I don't have to put up with that bullshit.
Which, Joe, that might happen.
Yeah.
That might happen.
That
Dude,
might happen.
Transformers G.I. Joe movie.
That would be pretty damn awesome.
Oh.
Okay, so what we have on the 7th, if you're into this series now, as I've documented ever since my daughter left the nest over a decade ago, I haven't seen, I think this is the 5th in the Insidious series. I think it's the 5th one. I do like the actor that's in it. God, I don't remember his name. What is his
Patrick
first name?
Something.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson. He's in Aquaman as Ocean Master. But the thing I love him in is The Watchmen. I've always loved him in that movie. He's a really good actor. I think he's fantastic. But I've never seen any of the Insidious movies. If you guys are into horror, please chime in. Tell me if you're looking forward to this one.
The Insidious movies got boring a while back. It's just like kind of like the Paranormal Activity movies. First one was good. Second one was then it just kept going. That's how the Insidious movies are. It's just
you're right. It's 5 with an announced 6th one.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
It's too much now.
Yeah.
Like it's just too much.
I hear you.
Guys are kicking a dead horse.
Well, Saw had how many?
Yeah,
You know,
and
Jason had how many? I mean,
they were kicking a dead horse too.
No,
I
they
will
are
say that with
milking.
Saw.
They're milking the golden goose. That's what they're doing, man.
Yeah.
Come on,
So-
dude. I mean, you know, they're popular movies. You got to give them credit.
I still say
They've
one
stuck
of
to the
best-
brand. They've stuck
Yeah.
to the brand, and it's a cash cow. For
I
them,
still
you know?
say one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street movies was the New Nightmare, like 20 years.
Oh,
down
yeah.
the line.
Yeah, there was a
That
couple of
was-
standouts there. The one,
yeah.
The best one is Dream Warriors, hands down.
Dream Warriors. That's
okay.
what I was going to say. Dream
It's
Warriors
the
was a
first
good one.
movie, Dream Warriors, and the New Nightmare. Those are the
Yeah,
best
the
three.
New
Freddy
Nightmare and
movies.
Dream Warriors are probably
Yeah.
my favorite ones,
Yeah.
aside from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see what else we got on the 7th. Joyride. I don't know anything about that one. Looks like a
No.
chick
I
flick.
haven't heard anything about
Yeah.
that.
But boys and girls, probably the biggest box office of the year comes out on the 12th, and you
Yep.
know what I'm talking about. And it's just part 1 of Dead Reckoning. Now is this? Let me ask you this, guys. Do you think he's wrapping it up? Do you think
Yes.
this is it?
Yes,
Well,
I
he
think-
did, but he did come out and say he wants to keep making these movies until he's 80. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but you said you're wrapping it up after Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
there's
it's
the one
called
next summer,
Dead
too.
Reckoning.
Yeah.
for
Right.
a reason.
Reckoning part 2. Yeah. When I saw it was part 1, I was like, yeah, he's got to be winding this down. I think this
That's
is
like
going to
them
be.
saying that John Wick 4 is the last movie, but they left it open to do John Wick 5. Because
Okay.
you never saw Wick's dead body at the end. You just saw him.
I haven't seen it
moving
yet,
over.
so
No
chill out.
spoilers.
Anyway, let's see. What's Ron talking about? I actually haven't seen any of the MIs. Yeah, MI, it's a good series, man. It's had its ups and downs. Just to give you my take on it, and I like the Mission Impossible movies. The first one I loved. I just, a lot of people were kind of angry with what they did with
Phelps.
with Phelps.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I thought this was going to be the closest thing to a, James Bond American style we were going to get. The John Woo movie, the second one, it was okay. I thought it went a
Yeah.
little over the top at the end with the fight scenes and everything.
Mhm.
Number 3, what is it? A colossal fucking blunder. They
3
wasted Philip Seymour
3
Hoffman's
was terrible.
villain.
But wait a
in
minute.
it, and
It had the greatest director ever, JJ.
Yeah.
It was
sorry,
bad. It was
JJ
terrible.
screwed the pooch on that piece.
JJ screws the pooch more
Look, man,
often
when they
than-
were high fiving at the end of it in the CIA control room with the girlfriend there and everything, I was like, no. It doesn't work
JJ has
this way in
screwed
the
the
real world.
pooch so much he's become a furry. Okay.
But I was brought back to it by Ghost Protocol.
Well, they brought that
I
new
s-
director in with Ghost Protocol that they've had
Yes,
all
and
the way through.
Ghost Protocol
Yeah.
was good. I missed Rogue Nation, and when Fallout came out, I was like, "Oh, I got to see this" because it had Henry Cavill in it, who I love, and I could not find. I didn't want to pay to watch Rogue Nation, right? And I could not find a fucking way to watch it on any of my streaming services or anything. I couldn't find a way to watch it, right? And finally, I think it was when Paramount Plus came out. I think is when I actually finally watched it. It dropped on there, and I said, "Okay, now I can catch up." And wow, pleasantly surprised by all of it. I mean, ever since Ghost Protocol, it has gotten its legs again, and it's really, really good. Yeah, what's up, John?
The director that is doing all these Mission Impossible movies
Mhm.
is Christopher McQuarrie.
Okay.
And in fact, he wrote Top Gun Maverick too.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got another one like that guy at Paramount. What's the guy's name at Paramount?
Oh, Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, Taylor
All right,
Sheridan.
no,
We
no,
got
no,
another one of those.
don't get too in that vein, because
Okay.
while he may have wrote Edge of Tomorrow, he also wrote The Mummy and Jack Reacher.
The
Well,
original
Jack Reacher
Mummy?
I liked.
The original
Jack-
Mummy?
The no, not the
No,
original Mummy. The
no,
one
the-
with Tom Cruise in it.
Cruise.
This
Oh,
guy
that one was
obviously is working with
terrible.
Cruise.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Mummy movie where they were trying to start the Dark Universe or whatever the fuck they were going to call it.
it's
The old
monsters,
movie
the
monsters they were going to
the
have.
Universal monster, and I wish they would have done better, because I wanted to see that.
Yeah,
actually,
I've
good.
never seen that Mummy movie, but it just didn't look like a
wasn't
correct
great.
Mummy movie to me, so I
Yeah,
didn't watch it.
I mean, I remember the Super Bowl trailer and just being like, no.
What?
Yeah, the Mummy movie was horrible.
It made no sense to me.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Both.
The Mummy was hot, though.
Yeah, she. Oh my God, I love that girl.
Yeah.
Speaking
Love
of hot, I think Jed can probably agree with me. Haley Atwell's character, if she's going to have like a one-letter agent name or something, I think it should be H, and it could either be for Agent Hot or Agent Hell Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, Haley is something else. I can't believe he's going to have Haley Atwell and Rebecca Ferguson in the same damn movie. I'm like, wow, you were just raking in the chicks. What is going on?
Tom Cruise,
so you don't think Melissa McCarthy and Leslie Jones should have been in those two roles?
Oh, fuck that bullshit, bro.
Oof. But anyway, Tom Cruise starts raking in the cash again on July 12th. And I, for one, I used to be the kind of guy that went opening day, but opening day is a work day for me now. So I go on Sundays. That's when I go now. So I'll be going that Sunday for sure.
This is an opening day for me.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. Well, it would be for me too. And well, it's on a Wednesday, isn't it? I might just go see that on a Wednesday by myself. I might have to do that, man.
See, I'm going to try and go that Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
during the day, so I can come in and talk about it.
Come in and talk about it that night. Yeah, it's going to be rough for guys that work. We may have to let that sit a week. We really might have to let that sit a week. Let's see. Now here's one. The next. Actually, it's the same weekend. That's a Wednesday opening. But on the 14th, there's one here called The Flood that I thought John might be into.
Oh, yeah.
Because he likes his monsters, and this looks like it's some kind of alligator movie or something.
It's a disaster movie. It's a flood where an alligator goes crazy, killing people.
Right. Let's see.
During
jailbreak.
During Louisiana hurricane is interrupted by a horde of hungry alligators.
Look out. A Louisiana hurricane. Only Louisiana, baby.
Whatever its budget is, it will make at least twice that budget.
Yeah.
And
I would say it will.
That's why these movies will always be made.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they are cheap to make and they're a lot of fun, and people love roller coaster rides with these kind of movies. So yeah, that I can see that one making its money back and then some.
And they know I'm always going to spring for it.
Yeah, you're always going to go. There's certain guys that love the kaijus. They're going to go see the monsters, man.
Sure. Iron will do that too, and everything else. So yeah, right. I like the kaiju monster movies too.
Well, you won't see any of the main character unless it's tongue in cheek talk about how the flood is because of the patriarchy or something like that. I mean, it's
there's no woke agenda in these movies. No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It is. It goes by the rules of Scream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't have sex in that movie. You're going to die, right? You know. Don't say I'll be right back. Don't do any of that. Your history if you do that. Yep. Let's see.
Don't leave the party.
Here? Is there anything? Now this one looks interesting to me, and I really want to see what this is about. This is a documentary. I may have to see if it's playing at my local indie house. It's called The YouTube Effect. And I simply want to watch it just to see what it's talking about. If it's an agenda-driven movie or what. It says, in this eye-opening documentary, Alex Winter presents a thoughtful and troubling look at YouTube, a site with humble origins that has gone on to change how we experience the world. It's going to be interesting to see what this is all about right here. Is that Mama Susan they just showed?
That was
I think that was Mama Susan. Yeah.
Was that someone trying to do something to Peppa Pig that they shouldn't be doing to Peppa Pig?
I hope
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably
Peppa,
talking
you're
about.
so sexy.
Right? Yeah. But
I don't know. They got a lot of January 6th stuff going on with this stuff, so I'm a little leery of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leery of
It's going to be on Apple TV, so I'll watch it because I have Apple TV. But because I'm sorry, Apple TV has the best sci-fi currently on.
oh, they do.
in production.
If you want to get back when it comes to bang for your buck, Apple TV is the streaming service you want. It's the cheapest
Yep.
one out there, and it's got the best production value, best writing. When it comes to science fiction, you're going to see some of the best shit you've ever seen on Apple TV. I completely guarantee you. Excuse me, agree with you, John. Absolutely. I love C. Me and Rhonda were talking the other day. We've got to get like a month subscription so we can binge watch the second season with Batista in it. You know, I really want to see that, man. He's playing old homeboy's brother in it or something like that. So
they haven't always hit a home run because Foundation was a little. I mean, if you weren't a fan of the books, you'll think Foundation is fine.
Yeah,
but if you're a fan of the books, you're going, "That's not Foundation." What the hell
you're
is
like,
that?
because I read the Foundation books and I was like,
and see, I've never read it and I enjoyed it.
I read them I read them starting in high school. So
so and I read them. I think I read them in high school too. So I was just like,
Small time Republic.
Red Shirt's in here,
being recognized by Red Shirt. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you.
My OG MFer brother, right there.
You know what's funny? I love his avatar because that actor right there, Patrick McGowan. Yeah. Most people, I mean, if you're a fan of that show where that comes from, right?
Yeah, I love that show.
It The Prisoner? Is that the name of it?
Prisoner.
Yes. Be seeing you.
But you know, my comic book that I'm working on, The Privateer. Yeah. It is so heavily influenced by a movie he did for Disney about a real life guy called the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh. Mm-hmm. If you've never seen that, go watch that with him in it. He's like Batman in that show. He's a Catholic priest who has his ear to everything that's going on in this little shore town, and they're smuggling rum. To pay their taxes, you know. Mm-hmm. It takes place around the time of the American Revolution, and what a lot of people forget is he wasn't just taxing the colonies, he's just taxing the shit out of his own people to raise a war chest to go up against France. You know. Go ahead, man.
When he plays Longshanks, in Braveheart, you absolutely hate him. With a passion.
He's fantastic in that movie, and he hadn't made anything in so goddamn long before he made that. I don't think anybody recognized him. I did right away. I was like, "Wow, Patrick McGowan's in a movie again." Shit.
I think he sort of had an eclectic career of TV, stage, film. Like I think he was kind of
he did everything, man. He was fantastic. I love.
He was doing what he wanted, not
what
was going to pay the bills.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
In terms of that YouTube. That documentary that's about YouTube, I would be willing to watch it if it talks about how the algorithm influences behavior and that kind of thing. But if it's 100% about right-wing extremism, then I'm going to check out.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. I want to see what the agenda is. If it's an agenda-driven film. Then you got, if you're into horror, on the 15th, you've got one called Crypt of Evil. I'm not sure what this is.
That looks interesting.
Really? Okay. Let's see what the synopsis is.
You know, if I'm like, put up in if I'm like saying it, it looks
Crypt of Evil.
There isn't.
Doesn't have a synopsis.
Yeah, I actually got told by somebody about this, and I can trust them on their horror.
That's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Hidden amongst the dead lies an evil that can never be buried? Is that what that
buried,
says?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, it looks very, very interesting.
It will probably do
Oh, sorry.
It'll probably do okay.
I think I got told it was Italian too, so Italians make good horror movies.
Yeah, because horror makes money because horror is a cheap genre to make movies in.
And during the 70s, some of the Italians that made horror movies during the 70s and 80s, and
Mhm.
60s. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, some of the stuff
Oh,
put
they
out was
were
pretty grisly.
good.
Yep. Ariel says, "Ooh, Daddy Coffee Joe shilling his comic." Well, of course I do on my own channel.
Yeah.
Let's see. When is Daddy Coffee Joe
Yeah.
gonna let everyone shill their stuff since he's shilling his comic?
At the end of the show.
I always let the guys talk about their stuff at the end of the show. You've watched this before. Quit acting like I don't.
You're here.
Just
with me,
another
girl.
Richard says he walked away from Danger Man, Secret Agent Man at its height and made the
Yep.
prisoner instead. Yeah,
Yep.
very cool. A very cool guy. I've always loved McGowan, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome. The Y looks like a J. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, what? I will definitely watch that. Love my horror.
Yeah,
Laugh
Will
out loud.
Snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Now I'm thinking of the song "Secret Asian Man." So
Secret Asian Man.
Yep.
Yes.
With the rice.
that's what it
Give
sounds
me
like.
some rice,
That's what it
please,
sounds like.
son.
Yep. All right. Let me see. And then we get to the 21st. Now, this is going to be an interesting discussion. It'll probably take us to the end of the show. Sorry, Knock. We're probably not going to get to your video games today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry,
It's
bro.
like when Jimmy Kimmel says he ran out of time with Matt Damon and didn't
Right.
get
Yeah.
to him. Yeah.
Look at what we got going on the 21st. I'll blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it. We have two, not one, but two blockbusters opening at the same time.
Well, I would say one would be a blockbuster.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer
I got news
is-
for you. The one you don't want to see is probably going to make more money than the one you do want to
because
see.
all the normies are gonna go see
Yes,
it.
they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Whether you like it or not, Jed,
The
it's going to
normies
happen. We'll leave it.
Will be the normies will be dragged by their significant other.
Yeah.
Right. And the other thing up against Oppenheimer is runtime. You're going to have an extra showing a day for Barbie.
Dude,
Maybe
I
two
wanna
showings a
see
day.
Oppenheimer
Because Oppenheimer's
so
3 hours
damn
long.
bad.
So
Yeah,
the runtime's
I wanna
3 hours
see it,
long.
and I probably won't get to see it for about a month.
Yeah,
or
but-
two.
But nerds like us want to see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oh,
They wanna
absolutely.
see
Oh, I
Barbie,
want to see
so-
it
Well,
so damn bad.
Hey, Nolan's got a following. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
not going to make money. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I would have picked a different weekend. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oppenheimer's gonna destroy Barbie.
I would have pushed it a week because the only thing next week that has any chance is the remake of Haunted Mansion.
Right. And I was going to get to that here in a minute.
Wait,
but
is that
yeah,
coming out next week too?
It comes out the 28th,
Yep.
the weekend after this.
I haven't heard anything about it. That's weird.
Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
The trailer's been out. And really, guys, I think that may be Disney's biggest movie of the year. Because
Yeah, and it has Eddie
if
in
you
it, and I
remember-
haven't seen it.
the last time they made a movie about a ride, well, let me take that back. The last time they did it was Chris Rock, or not Chris Rock, but The Rock, and he's
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, and
And I like
we all
Jungle
know
Cruise,
he's a
though.
I
did
understand
watch
that, but you
That
know
was kind of a decent
that
movie.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is a box office killer. I mean, he's just got that rep. You know what I mean? But the time before that I'm thinking of is Johnny Depp in their best franchise ever, based on a ride, right? Curse of the Black Pearl, that kind of thing. So,
Well, I think The Rock and Jungle Cruise, that casting is about as good as Tom Holland in Uncharted. Like,
right, yeah,
I just don't like it. Don't like the
Right.
decisions.
yeah. You need somebody that's a little bit less like a superhero, more an every guy, right?
Yeah. Like a younger Kurt Russell type.
Right,
I
exactly.
do like
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy. I never know how to say his first name, but I think he's a great casting for Oppenheimer.
Oh my God, this is the showcase for the guy. Okay, now if you guys don't know or are not a fan of this director, Mr. Nolan is in love with this dude. Cillian Murphy is probably one of his favorite actors. He's in damn near every movie the guy's ever made. Okay,
Yeah.
he's basically his version of what's the guy Sam Raimi uses all the time.
You talking
he's
about
a-
Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Yeah, this is Nolan's Bruce Campbell if he's got one. Is this guy?
Yeah.
He's not in
because-
every movie, but he it's damn close. That he's
Because
almost
he
in every
loves
one.
the Evil Dead too a lot.
Yeah.
And so when he finally got to meet Bruce, he put him and got to be friends with Bruce. He actually was like, "Hey, Bruce, you want to be in my movies?"
Well,
You know,
my
he's
point
not
is,
like-
Kill-
Sam Raimi made Evil Dead.
Yeah,
he
I
did.
know, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about Nolan in them.
Yeah.
Oh,
What Joe was talking about.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
this is the deal. Friggin' Cillian Murphy has been in a lot of his movies, and he's always played a really, it's always been, he's never been the lead.
Yeah.
Okay. He's
Scarecrow.
always been a support character. The Scarecrow, he was the guy in, what's the war movie he made? God, man.
you
Help me out, guys. The
Dunkirk?
Beach. Yeah, Dunkirk. He was
Dunkirk,
the guy that they pulled onto the boat and was so scared to death he ended up killing one of the kids, right?
Yeah.
He's always a support character, but in an impactful way. And I'm really looking forward to this because the guy is a good actor. He's really, really good, and the cast for this looks fucking dynamite. It's going to be a good flick, and we know that this guy likes to use practical effects. I'm surprised he didn't ask him to set off a nuke for this movie, knowing him. But it's going to be a lot of fun to see. But up against the movie it's up against, I just feel like it's going to have a hard time. As far as the winner of this battle head to head, it's going to be Barbie. That more of the normies are going to go see Barbie, and just the fact of the runtime is that hurts it too because you're not going to get as many showings. But Barbie is the other one. And go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, this is Oppenheimer's cast. Besides Cillian Murphy, you've got Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Josh Hartnett, Florence Pugh, Jack Quaid, who's Dennis Quaid's son, Gary Oldman, Kenneth Branagh, Rami Malek. David Kermsholtz, who was on the Numbers, the guy from Numbers. Casey Affleck. Okay, well that one's not very good.
It's just like loaded.
Dane
DeHaan, who was I haven't seen him in a minute because he was last seen as from Andrew Garfield's Spider as Osborn is from.
Actually, no. The last time you saw him was Valerian.
I will say
he was in Valerian.
Mission Impossible and this movie are going to be the two big winners.
Well, Mission Impossible is probably going to be the biggest moneymaker of the year, but this cast is
look the cast.
The only cast for a movie this year that is close to this is Dune. Because Dune's just as loaded as this one is. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the message he's trying to send with it, which, knowing Nolan, it's going to be interesting to which way he slants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we do know that historically Oppenheimer was really skittish about what he had created.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting, that portrayal, after they do the test and see how he reacts to it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it because there's very few directors that I would say I would go see a movie with that guy's name on it. Christopher Nolan and the Deneuve guy that's doing Dune is probably the only two guys going today that I would say,
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, I never can pronounce his name right, man. Obviously, you don't watch my Thursday show very often because my brother was like, "Man, just ram it through. Just ram it through."
I watch it when I can. It's just I run D&D at that time.
I can't. I cannot pronounce shit worth a damn, dude.
So the French guy,
the French guy. That's it. I love the French guy stuff.
Either French or French Canadian. I'm not sure.
Good movies, but Barbie has got. I could not believe the casting of Ryan Gosling as Ken. I was like, oh my God, no, come on, man. Because the last thing I watched with him in it was Driver. And I love that fucking movie. It's so great. He's a really good actor, man. I really like Ryan Gosling, but some of the stuff, he does a lot of chick flicks. You know what I'm saying? You know,
La La Land. Yeah.
The chicks like him doing a lot of
they
chick flicks.
dig him. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I understand where his bread's buttered and everything. It's just the guy parts he plays, he goes to the nth too, man. If you've never seen Drive, you need to watch it. If you're into dialogue, that's not the movie for you.
It's a different kind of movie.
It is a different kind of movie.
It's like watching Monsters Ball. Like you just get like a totally different vibe from that movie than or not from most movies.
Yeah,
like
I like that director.
Vibe.
He also directed him in a movie called Only God Forgives, which is another weird one that He did, and it's really good, but it's a strange movie. And you go into it thinking he's the lead character, and it's not. It's the Asian guy that's the lead character, you know. And
Sorry, the only thing
so-
I remember about Monsters Ball is Halle Berry.
no, well,
Yeah, he's like, I only had.
I remember everything about Monsters Ball. That's a good movie.
Hey
Well,
Joe,
it's a really good
check
movie.
your StreamYard or your tips.
My tips. Uh-oh, did somebody hit me up? Hang on a
Ariel
second.
said throws money at Daddy Coffee Joe.
Oh no, what did she say? She said, let's see, let me refresh it. Ba-ba-boom.
By the way, while you're doing that,
Ba-ba-ba-boom.
Albert Brooks in Drive plays a totally different character than what you're normally used to seeing with Albert Brooks.
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah.
He's hilarious in most things you see him in, but he is the most evil bastard in that movie, Drive. I mean, you know, that's more proof to me what I've said for years. If you can do comedy, you can do anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And his brother is Super Dave, by the way.
Yeah, Super Dave Osborne. Yes. Ariel Ballet, I'm sorry, I can't highlight this, but she says, money for stuff. Thank you for the $5, young lady. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Ariel.
Wanted to see how long it would have taken.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was like,
I'm on a roll. I'm talking my
you
movies.
know,
I love my
sometimes
movies,
he
man.
does
So,
not see it. That's the reason why I said so.
that's it. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you watching my back. But you look at the cast of this movie here, and we've got, hang on, let me get it back up here. I've got all this on the same screen. So not as quite the cast as the other one. I see Helen Mirren's in this. Will Ferrell. Oh, God, no.
John Cena is a Ken.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
You know, oh boy, the
He's a Ken.
credibility just went out the window right
They go
there.
to an alternate reality and they find these alternate.
Am I the
Kens
only
and
person
alternate-
that likes Kate McKinnon?
I
Am I
I
the only
don't
person on
like.
the
Ever
planet?
since Ghostbusters came out, I hated her.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I think she's funny. So, you know,
I don't know who a lot of these people are.
America Ferrera.
Jesus,
Yeah, I don't
Rhea
know who any of these
Perlman's
people.
still alive? I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun
Yeah.
fact.
Oh, I know who
Fun
America
fact.
Ferrera is, but Dua Lipa.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, let me see. Rhea Perlman. Yeah. What's the chick's name that they just put on Star Trek? That's an engineer that's driving me nuts every time she's on screen.
Oh,
I remember in Scrooge, the bitch hit me with a toaster. Makes your cheeks all rosy and eyes
know,
as bright as stars.
I know, and I'm blanking.
I am too. But
See,
she's
yeah.
on Star Trek now, and I really wish they'd kill her off really fast.
I don't watch
It's driving
any
me crazy.
Star Trek now.
Yeah.
The last time I watched Star Trek was the end of Picard season 3. I don't watch anything because
Picard season 3 was good. I enjoyed the
it's
hell out of it.
Kurtzman Trek. That's all it is.
Carol
Let's see.
Kane.
Carol Kane, that's it. Yeah, they need to get her off the new Star Trek fast. Anna Gamesland says, ladies, did you like Extraction 2? Talking to Ariel. I haven't seen either one of the Extraction movies, but I need to sit down and watch them. I hear they're good.
Yeah, I probably may watch one of them tonight or something.
Well,
Well, wait,
okay,
we
let's see.
got games and shit.
The last weekend of the month, we've got
Bro.
Haunted Mansion.
Bomb.
And
Was it Eddie?
do you
in
think it's
this?
going to bomb? Matt,
A single
really?
mom hires a tour guided priest and his help excite her newly bought after it. Bro.
Yeah.
The remake nobody wanted.
Yeah,
Bro.
well, it's a remake? I thought this was just based on the ride.
Is
It is
Eddie
based
in
on
it?
the ride.
Is
yeah,
Eddie
that's
in
what
it?
I thought.
But Eddie Murphy did the first one.
Yeah, he did. But is Eddie in this one?
I don't know. Let's look.
Probably not. What
I
you know,
know.
with having Rosario
But you said
Dawson,
bomb. Why did you say that, Matt?
I just don't think it's going to do well.
No, it's
Really?
not going to do well. Especially, it's Disney. Disney goes woke on everything now.
Well,
You know.
Rosario
With having,
Dawson's in it.
Yeah, it came out in 2000.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Winona Ryder, Jared Leto. What?
Yeah, it's got a lot of big names
Wow.
in it.
Danny DeVito, Rhea
Danny
Perlman's
DeVito,
husband.
Owen Wilson, Dan Levy. I don't know who Mr. Stanfield is.
Well,
yeah, we're
and-
getting into names I don't
Tiffany
know now.
Haddish.
Yeah.
But the top 8 there, I know pretty much. Jared
Yeah.
Leto in a Disney movie?
Dude,
Interesting.
It's just I don't know.
Interesting.
it's ghosting time.
Yes, it's ghosting time.
With
Yes.
with Rosario Dawson and Owen Wilson being in it, I just imagine Disney being like, "Oh, we already have you on set for something else, so
Mhm.
We'll put you in
tell
this.
here. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's going to be in Ahsoka next month, right?
Yeah. The
So.
first Haunted Mansion came out in 2003. Starred
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy, Terrence Stamp, Wallace Shawn, Marsha Thompson, and Jennifer Tilly.
Okay. All right. I've
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. That was when Eddie pretty much,
Yeah.
I wasn't watching anything he put out because he was in a G-rated phase. And I was like, what? This. Nah. Ron says, talk about a movie that no one wants. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it's going to do better than most of the stuff they're putting out this year.
Yeah.
Because the parents will take kids to it. It's PG-13, but that's mild. A lot of parents will take their kids to it. Ariel says, don't forget to mention the Muppets Haunted Mansion, John. Don't forget that one.
Okay.
Does that have something to do with the ride too? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember that. Yeah,
I don't even remember that.
Yep. It came out in 2000 or 2021. I completely missed it.
I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, so it's based on the attraction. So.
Wow.
I never heard. I literally I haven't heard anything about that.
Very, very interesting. That was on Disney Plus, and it was good.
Well, then why in the heck are they making another one 2 years later?
Right?
I saw this. I didn't see this, but I saw this advertised, and I just completely glossed over it.
Yep. Well,
I still think that's
Vegan.
cool on that ride. How that has the ceiling or the walls go up when you're in the lobby area? Haunted Mansion.
Wouldn't even know. I've never been to Disney World,
cool,
Disneyland, none of it.
I remember why I blew it off now because they cut Frank Oz out of it. That's when they dropped Frank Oz from being in the Muppet movies.
Oh well, that's kind of dumb. That's like not having comic book fans in the writer room. What the fuck?
Oh,
what
you mean how Marvel and DC does shit now? So
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls, we have hit the 2-hour mark, and you know what that means. I got steak coming. So actually, it's chicken and dumplings tonight because the restaurant that they usually have their get together at is closed tonight.
Shit.
They're on vacation. So Rhonda decided to pull out some of the chicken we cooked and refroze, and she's doing chicken and dumplings. And she says she's going to have it on schedule. So, John, you need to tell them where you're at so I can get my chicken and dumplings.
All right. Well, real quick, you can find me on Pop Culture Minefield. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. is the return of Keith to Morning Coffee with.
Yes.
And because we lost, Brian sadly had to step away for personal reasons. But Keith is back, and tomorrow morning is the 50-year or 85 years of DC Comics on film.
Okay. Very cool.
85th anniversary. So the first DC Comics property that was filmed. So we'll be talking about that. So obviously this is Keith, so you're going to get tons of knowledge.
Yes, absolutely. If you haven't watched Keith,
awesome.
guys, he's awesome.
Keith is very knowledgeable. I've had Gary and Keith both on the Archivist multiple times, and they are awesome to talk to.
Yeah, and Friday for the morning, the Fantastic Friday, we're doing, we're continuing Skull Island, and we're adding Jack Ryan. The new season of Jack Ryan, which started last week.
Yeah, I saw you guys snuck in. Friggin' Reacher on me the other day.
Yeah, well,
when I wasn't looking,
it was just a little. This is just a little tag at the end. It wasn't like a full review. So
I love Reacher, man.
I know.
You got to give me a heads up on that.
I will next time.
My dog. That's my military policeman, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Love him.
But and then Saturday is another Tom and Jerry.
Yep. What's that?
Doing I believe, what is it? It's something cool.
I know. Yeah, I saw the promo for it.
My brain just shut down for a second.
Oh, it's okay.
Give me a half second.
Unless it's in front of me, I will forget
about
it.
See you, E. Clay. Have a good night, brother.
Take care, E. Clay. It was good to see you. Catfish waiting on me. See, everybody's got food coming, man. No doubt. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it is
Yes, we are shilling, young lady. Shilling it.
Yeah, we're shilling while I'm waiting for stuff to load, and it's not loading.
Oh,
there it is. Tom and Jerry is doing the first Mission Impossible.
Yes, Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible. Now, Gary is going to sit there and go, "I hate this guy," but
I like the movie. Yeah,
that's what he's going to do. Because he really can't stand Brian De Palma. He really can't.
But yeah, you can find me there, and then next Monday on that 70s Rock Fan show.
Save me some time. Hang on. I'll throw it up right now. Bang.
Boom. It's Canon Film Club. We're talking about Cyborg with Tom and hopefully Razor Fist.
Yes.
And Austin, who is the author of the Canon Film Guides, who knows everything about Canon there is to know. And you'll talk about a really cool movie, and you'll get a lot of knowledge about Canon film and what's going on.
Razor Fist and Tom is like having Keith on a comic book stream.
Yeah,
I mean, it's both of those guys know everything about that shit. Especially if you want to see two guys that love a franchise, watch those two talk about Death Wish.
Yep.
I mean, jeez. But we're going to be on that one Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. I always give out the Central Time. You guys figure out the rest. Okay,
yeah.
It's 4 p.m. Central Time. But anything else you want to impart to him, man?
No, I mean, you can always just find me on. You can usually find me on Pop Culture Minefield or That 70s Rock Fan or right here.
Or if John wants to come on EMF for one night, more than welcome to come over there too.
And speaking of the MFer cast, what's up with you, Big Daddy Matt? What's going on?
New cast member that got his cherry popped last week.
Yep, they were chanting "fresh fish" as a welcome itself. But speaking of Canon, anytime I hear Cannon, Trauma, or Roger Corman, anytime I hear those keywords, I just automatically have to pay attention to whatever's going on.
Hell yeah, bro.
You can catch me here every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. And at least Jed, I don't know if I can commit every week, but at least
I know. And there's some people that come every other week. Some people that come every week. So whenever you can, brother.
Well, Matt, thank you very much for being here. And remember, don't run off. I want to yak at you before we leave. Yeah. And Jed, ply your wares, sir. Tell them all about what's going on.
So yeah. Okay. So, oops, that's it. Okay. There's that one.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we're live right now with the show.
Mm-hmm.
And on Friday, if you see this right here, we are going back to the old school time of when me and Matt did it. So instead of 6, it is now at 6:30 when me and Matt used to do it.
And so that's 6:30 Pacific time, guys. 8:30 my time, Central Time.
Yeah, so we will be doing this. I have some cool articles that Joe gave me and some other guys told me and stuff, and just see what we do and just go from there, I did get told by a few people that the openings were too long, so I'm going to change it to the FNT opening where everybody's there.
Well, let me tell you something real quick, Jed. One of the longest openings I've ever watched is Flashcast. Sometimes that opening is almost 15 minutes. So
and so
don't be so quick to if you got good stuff, don't be so quick to bury it.
I know it, but everybody was like, dude, Wookiee sat back there for a half hour last week in the back room trying to get everybody on.
Echo Base Network does 30 minutes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I want what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everybody out in right there, and we can just all introduce everybody there. And something happens,
Jed, when you had Matt from Foul Ball Productions on there, it's like in Planet of the Apes 2 where Charlton Heston shows up,
Yeah.
Right?
A pleasant
That's
surprise.
That's it.
And then that motherfucker spoiled it. He's like, hey, chat. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got to tell him, man? What else you got?
Tonight, me and Joe, it's
Well, I swear, you guys are saving all my stuff for me. Yeah, we got
it's part 5.
We got part 5 of Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah.
Where me and Joe drink and we bullshit, and he fails, and we rip on each other, and I tell him he's a piece of shit because he doesn't know where he's going and all this other shit. You see me and him fight every week over this game,
and we may be joined by my
Yeah.
my stepson David, who is a
Yeah,
big
so-
fan of this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
So-
we do this one at 10 p.m. Central Time, guys. That's in
Yeah.
a couple of hours. So
Yeah.
here in about 2 hours and 20 minutes exactly.
And
so, yeah.
then that was Friday. Yeah, we already did. And then on Friday, MFR, what we just talked about, my main big show for the week, because that's on my channel and stuff, and everybody else. But on Thursday of next week, we are gonna have the Screwball Society. It's gonna be every other week because Retro didn't want me getting burned out like I was before. And then on Sunday, I'm with Wookie and all of them on their channel. So, and then I don't do anything on Monday yet because nobody's asked me. And then Tuesday, me and Joe both start our streaming week together with game night.
We do this one right here. Where is it? Yeah. Come on, I've got it here. It's right here. It's Papa Joe Gamer. It's the first edition of the week, and we usually I usually do whatever I want that night. I do a walkthrough on Wednesdays, but Tuesdays, sometimes it's DC, sometimes it's Madden. I really want to get my PlayStation 2 fixed and play some of that. My PlayStation 3's been out of commission. I'm going to work on that, but that's 10 p.m. both nights. Tuesday and Wednesday is 10 p.m.
And so that
we have a good time doing that.
All the way back to where we are right now, where I'm here every Wednesday. So.
That's right. All right, Jed. Thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate you being here.
Brother.
And let's go ahead and fill in the gaps for him. Of course, you're watching State of the Atmosfere, my weekly pop culture show, and we do it every Wednesday night at 5:30 p.m. Central. And then, of course, you've got the gaming stream tonight at 10 p.m. Central. And then... And I want to make it clear, it's a walkthrough of Star Wars, The Old Republic, but it's video games, cocktails, and fails. I do it to relax and enjoy myself. So if you guys want to join and have a few laughs with us, Ariel comes in most of the time, is cracking us up. We have a good time.
And then me and Joe just yell at each other and bullshit.
That's it. And then tomorrow night, you've got the Brothers Hack the Matrix. Hopefully my brother gets back from Vegas in time. And he missed last week. Hopefully he'll be here this week. And this is the show where we run down the week's headlines and let you know what's really going on behind the scenes. That's the Brothers Hack the Matrix every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And then Saturday, you can watch me draw the pages of my comic book. This week, it's going to be plotting the cover for issue 2 of The Privateer. I'm done plotting that book as well. So it's time to do the cover. We're going to do that on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Central Time, sketching The Privateer. You can come check it out there. And, of course, John already mentioned it, but we didn't show you the thumbnail for it. It's The Point Man this week on Monday Morning Coffee with Gary, Military Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time, brought to you by Pop Culture Minefield and KGRA Radio.
Actually, that is subject to be bumped because I think we're bumping it. I'll have to get with Gary on Friday. To figure out which one we're going to switch to it. But the reason why we're bumping it depends. If we do that one, we're waiting for the friend of the channel, Fahim, to send us the interview so we can play it.
That's right. I remember you guys talking about that before the stream.
Yeah. So if we don't have it yet, we'll push it back to like August.
Well, there will be a show Monday.
Yeah,
it may not be the Point
Monday.
Man. But there will be a show Monday, and it'll be a military movie where we will talk about it, and you'll have a good time. Trust me, because
I'm going to push for something like Battle Los Angeles or
something not fictionally a fictional war of some of something. Yeah, that would be fun. You can still talk about the military aspects of it. I mean,
because he likes it because it's pro-military. Same thing with Battleship, surprisingly.
Have you guys done Search for Red October yet?
Oh,
with the Hunt for Red October?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we did the Hunt for Red October already. That's in my top 5.
Sorry. Sometimes I,
Big fan.
I
Big
have
fan
so
of that.
much information up in this noggin, it's not even funny,
Yeah.
so it gets crushed.
So that is the show for tonight, guys. That's my schedule. You can check out my schedule anytime. I keep that up. The 5 shows I do a week are always up there. It's the first thing listed on my channel. You can see what times they are and everything. And let me check the chat real quick before we get out of here. It's
And
all
I
Ariel all
always
the time.
post whenever me and Joe are going to do stuff all the time on Twitter and all the Discords. Too.
Oh yeah, you can follow Joe's Atmosphere on every social media there is. I am Joe's Atmosphere with an F instead of a PH. I'm easy to find. And guys, if you're on Rumble or Kick or Twitch, give us follows there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd love to have your subscription here, but
on all
follow us everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's saying goodnight there. And let's see. Sometimes Daddy Coffee Joe plays some naughty hentai games. Darling, I've got a game. Okay, say, yeah, Tuesday. Trust me, I'm gonna play one. I'm gonna play. I can't remember the name of it. It's on my PlayStation 4. I'll have to haul my PlayStation 4 in here because this is one of the ones when you put it in the PlayStation 5, it screws up the graphics really bad.
Because
they put dots all through it or something. It's really messed up. But I've got one. If you want to see that chick, I will do it Tuesday.
Is it House Party?
Shinran Kagura or something like that. It's these chick characters that are constantly beating the clothes off their enemies, and it's like it's
dude, I know that game. That game's
that game. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's
dude,
fantastic.
we're gonna have fun with that on Tuesday. Then.
Hell yeah, man. That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Jiggle factor and everything. You'll have a blast.
Jed's playing it right now.
Yep. He's playing it right now. Yep.
Dude,
all right. Well, listen, guys. That's a wrap for tonight. I thank you all for being here. And once again, for Das Wolfen, Jed Revenwolf, and Small Time Republic, we want to thank you for being here. And until we see you again, I want you to keep on keeping on. God bless. Yeah, man.